Scott, actually, I want to ask you about Ryan. How good can this kid be? 19 years old, signed from Vasco da Gama for around about 25 to 30 million pounds, primarily to fill the void that Antoine Semenyo left. 3-goal involvement in 4 Premier League appearances at the age of 19. That's incredible.
Yeah,
already.
I asked about him and what he was like, and they said he's very smooth, almost too smooth. He's just so relaxed, so chilled. I asked if he speaks English to be able to integrate really well, and he said no. You've got Evan Nielsen, you've got Senesi as well, who sort of help look after him. Resh, I can't begin to describe how difficult it must be for a teenager to come into English football halfway through a season and make the impact that he's made already. And I think one of the things that really impressed them as well, in one of their really tactical sessions at training, he got it straight away. So he's football intelligent as well. Yeah. They don't know what the ceiling is, and that's a scary thing.
It's incredible.
I'll tell you what's really scary is Scott Minto's probably had nightmares about facing him. He's a right winger with unbelievable pace. And last week at the London Stadium, he picked the ball up in the middle of the park, went on this mazy run, flashed a shot from the edge of the penalty area, and I tell you what, the goalkeeper Hermansson panicked because that ball was going in the top corner. And it flicked the outside of the post. He's got huge talent, and I tell you what, I'm really excited about seeing him in the flesh.
I have nightmares working with you two. So don't worry about that.
Leave me out of it, maybe Sam. No, look, you'll be pleased for the generational gap then. Look, this is a great atmosphere building up here. We've just had rock music blaring. We've got the players out alongside the Premier League hoarding. We've had pyrotechnics. It's all going off. As we were saying with Phil Smith, the Sunderland fans, this is the furthest away game of the season, but the question is, can they make it count? Confidence is low. The away record makes for grim reading. In their last 3 away, they've conceded 9 on their travels. That's nearly half the 20 that they've conceded so far on the road this season, and they're up against a free-scoring Bournemouth side with 88 goals in 27 games. They are the highest scorers in the Premier League so far. It is going to be a huge game for both sides because each of them needs to turn the tide. Andoni Iraola knows exactly how to do that. Regis Lebris needs a little bit of inspiration with his side. They do have history though. They've won 4 of their 5 away games against Bournemouth in all competitions. It may have been a while ago, but could that count? Let's find out in the company of the former Chelsea and Benfica left-back Scott Minto and TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Matthews.
Yeah, thanks, Reshmi. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth, where the sun is out, the wind is whistling around, but it is a very pleasant day here on the south coast. We are in the middle of the awards season, and for a large part of this campaign, Sunderland were emerging as a real contender for best newcomer. There's probably not much doubt that they'll collect on that, but after a bright opening to the season, there's been a mid-campaign dip, and in order to ensure a fairy tale ending, they need to reverse the slump that has seen them lose 5 of the last 8 episodes of Premier League football. The news that Granit Xhaka is ready to recommence his starring role has stirred the passion of the Sunderland fans, but standing in their way today, a Bournemouth side that always love to play the underdog. Small ground, small squad, big ambitions. And after 7 games without a defeat in the top league, the Cherries are threatening to tear up the script again. A win for either puts them front and centre. Defeat, and there will be worries about being cut from the final edit. Bournemouth drop Evan Nielsen. Andoni Iraola saying just a few minutes ago that he wants more quality in midfield, more men on the ball. Sounds like it's a plan to deal with the influence of Granit Xhaka to me. Sunderland, no Mukiele. He starts every game usually. No Brobby and no Mundle for them. So this is how the 2 teams start. It's Petrovic with Jimenez, Hill, Senesi and Truffert the back 4. Scott, Tyler Adams and Brooklyn in midfield. Ryan, Krupi and Tavernier in attack. For Sunderland, Robin Roofs is the goalkeeper. Hertruda, Ballard, Alderete and Hume the back 4. Diarra, Xhaka and Siddiqui. Then Talbi, Mayenda and Enzo Lefay. The referee is Jared Gillett, a former policeman from New South Wales, the first Australian to referee in the Premier League. The VAR is James Bell. And later on today we take you round the grounds with Adrian Durham as the goals fly in up and down the country. Portsmouth Hull in the Championship is currently on TalkSport 2. Commentary stroke follows. Today We've got all of the action that you could possibly want, and tomorrow's no different. Game Day Live comes from the Emirates as Arsenal take on Chelsea, and you won't miss anything with TalkSport because we give you it all. Well, so far this season, the award for entertainment goes to Bournemouth. Their games have produced more goals than any other. So we're going to smash out the popcorn and sit back and relax and watch the goals fly in today. Scott Minto?
I hope so, mate. I'll munch on them a little bit after. Obviously want to try and describe the goals as they go in, but yeah, I think we're in for a really good game here. Look, Sunderland are very much on the back foot in terms of losing the last three. It's almost like no one's really expecting them to get anything. It's a long way to travel and they're not in great form at the moment. Bournemouth are unbeaten in 7, and how we've seen the Premier League this season probably means it's going to be a Sunderland win.
Well, Sunderland are shooting from left to right in the first half with blue shirts on their change strip, white shorts and blue socks on the press right from the off, because Bournemouth from their goal kick wearing black and red striped jerseys and black shorts attacking the goal to our left have gone short, but then ended up trying to send the ball into the right corner. Krupi goes on the chase, doesn't reach it. It goes out of play and away for a throw-in down by the corner flag, away to our left-hand side. Now, the Vitality Stadium certainly has plans to expand into a much bigger arena. Bill Foley, who is the owner of Bournemouth, knows that they have to do something really to compete, and we were talking about the financial restrictions in terms of the amount of income that they get. But right now it's 4 independent stands, about 20 rows in depth, tight to the pitch, incredibly small by Premier League standards, and right over in front of the Bournemouth fans, Trey Hume launches a throw down the left-hand side. He's played it in towards Mayenda, who chases forward, but it's gobbled up by the central defender James Hill, who's established himself alongside Senesi in the last few weeks. Diakite has been pushed out of the picture, and then as the ball goes long from Petrovic, it comes immediately back to the Serbian goalkeeper away to our right hand side, and Bournemouth have possession once again. 0-0. We've played a little bit over a minute and a half, and you're listening to Talk Sport. True Fair tries to get on the ball, played to him by Senesi, but it was a bit of a sloppy pass from Senesi. It goes straight out, and it's away for a Sunderland throw in front of the dugouts.
Yeah, it's interesting when Bournemouth have the ball. Marcus Tavernier looks like he's sort of playing in that number 10 position, and actually it's Dan Ballard who's quite happy to just go in, and then it's 3v3 at the back, so there's a long ball over the top, which Bournemouth are quite happy to do. Sunderland need to be careful.
Robin Roof's chesting the ball down on the edge of his penalty area as it goes long. It's Brooks who's playing out on the left-hand side, isn't it? With Tavernier playing as the 10. And Krupi through the middle. They've given the ball away, Bournemouth. Jimenez on the edge of the area and skipping forward and getting a shot away. Siddiqui down to his right. The push away from Petrovic is a vital stave right at the beginning of the match for Bournemouth. That was a good opportunity. Here's Sunderland coming forward again on the left-hand side. It's a challenge from behind by Jimenez. It looked like a penalty inside the box. Enzo Lefebvre went down, and Jared Gillett waved away the protests. Well, it'll be interesting to see a replay of that, Scott, because from our position, about 7 rows back from the touchline on this near side, Enzo Lefebvre looked as if he was challenged from behind by Jimenez. Well, he definitely was challenged from behind by Jimenez. Was there enough to give a penalty?
It's a foul. It's a penalty. The question is now, is it clear and obvious? For me, it is. I mean, clear and obvious should be 10 out of 10, meaning that, you know, he has to turn it around. But I mean, there's going to be at least 9 out of 10 saying that's an absolute penalty.
I can't believe he hasn't given it.
I mean, he should give it there and then, but VAR have to get him to. We don't want to go down the VAR chat here. I'm for VAR, but the lightest touch. But actually, that's so obvious that he just barged into the back of him. It's a penalty.
Well, I don't understand. I mean, the key question here is, forget VAR for a second. Jared Gillett should have given the penalty straight off. That's, I think, is the common consensus. I mean, I don't think he got anything on the ball. He was coming from behind. He pushed him into the back and he went straight to the floor. I don't even think it was that theatrical from Lefebvre, was it?
No, I don't think it was. Because he came in from the back. That's the thing. It's not even from the side. As if he's sort of got his arm up and he's gone that way as a shoulder. He's come from the back. It's a foul.
Xhaka takes a free kick, which is just in front of the centre circle, lifting it left-footed into the box. It's headed away by Senesi and cleared further away by Tavernier. Picked up now by Gertruda and then all the way back to Trey Hume is on the halfway line. That'll be a bone of contention attention for Regis Lebris. Certainly Granit Xhaka was talking to the referee for a long time there. The ball pinched by Krupi as the ball goes back to Trey Hume, but he can't make the most of it. And Sunderland have it back again. 0-0, we played 4 minutes.
I'll tell you what, it is typical Premier League, isn't it? One team come into this game in good form, the other team not. No, it's turned around. And if you didn't know the form of these two teams, you say it's Sunderland who've been playing really well in recent weeks.
Alderete, who's moved up into almost a midfield position over on that left-hand side, trying to break the lines with the ball into the path of Mayenda. It's cut out by the centre half James Hill and put out over on the far side. A throw in for Alex Jimenez, who was a bit of a pantomime villain last week at West Ham United, Scott, Alex Jimenez, but he certainly will be the sharp focus of attention today after that little push in the back on Enzo Lefebvre. A lot of people thinking that should have been a penalty, especially those Sunderland fans who have made the journey down from the northeast, right in front of it over on the far side. I think that probably added to the tension.
Yeah, it was that side, wasn't it? That end, that side. And I mean, the referee should never be swayed by the fans anyway. If he was going to be persuaded, it would be in that particular position. He wasn't. I admire him for staying strong, but it was just a wrong decision. Long
throw in by Trey Hume in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Hill, picked up on the right side. They try to turn it back into the centre with Habib Diarra, but Sunderland keep hold of the ball just about. Diarra fighting for it, being pushed back by the Bournemouth midfield. He kept it brilliantly. Back by Hume again. He gets fouled by Alex Scott from behind. That's going to be a free kick 6 yards outside the box. And Sunderland have started the better in this game, Scott, and Bournemouth haven't settled yet.
Yeah, interesting. That's a foul. I don't see much difference between what happened in the box as well. I think Sunderland have been superb. This is not what we expect. They've got a lot of players out at the moment. You know, Granit Xhaka's not 100% fit, but he's back in there. I don't know, it's almost just like this presence. He pushes him in the back. He makes a meal of it, but Sam, you can't do that in the box.
Was there a little jump from Enzo Lefebvre?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's lost himself the penalty because he's almost jumped up. Now, for me, especially being a defender, I'm like, no, contact is not enough. It's got to be enough to bring someone down. I think that was, and I think if he wasn't so theatrical, it would have looked much more natural, and therefore it would have been an obvious penalty.
OK, we played just over 7 minutes. You're listening to Talk Sport. We're at the Vitality Stadium, and Sunderland are on the attack here in the blue shirts, just outside the penalty area. A free kick from Enzo Lefebvre to the far post, and Scott heads it over the top of his own crossbar under very little pressure, really. Didn't have too many other options, and it goes out for a corner kick over on the far side. And there is, again, more protests because they were pushing and shoving inside the box. And again, another Sunderland player has gone to the floor, and the referee, after consultation with the VAR again, gives just a corner, and Granit Xhaka with a wry smile as he travels over from the centre of the penalty area out to this near side to take the latest corner. And remember the vulnerability that Bournemouth have shown already this season from set pieces. They've conceded an absolute batch of goals from dead balls. Here's Xhaka in towards that near post, and Petrovic went scrambling towards the near post because he knew that they had the possibility of sneaking in. It just went into the side netting.
There's a poor corner from Xhaka. He's rubbish, isn't he? No, I mean, sometimes there's just some players at different clubs, whether you're sort of right at the top end or even in the lower divisions, that when they're on the pitch, not only do they seem to play well themselves, but they make players play better around them. And this is not a team that has lost the last 3 matches and is on a little bit of for the first time this season, on a downward curve. It's been a brilliant start.
Well, for those of you just joining us, and those of you that haven't seen much of Bournemouth and Sunderland over the last 3 weeks, only Manchester United are on a better, longer run in the Premier League than Bournemouth. Sunderland have lost their last 3 Premier League games, but Granit Xhaka has missed those 2, and he's back in the team today, and he is the tempo setter, the heartbeat of this Sunderland team. It remains Sunderland 0, Bournemouth 0 down at the Vitality Stadium. Trey Hume, who got that whack about 6 yards outside the box, is just hobbling slightly over on the far side, and he's not moving particularly freely. They won't want to lose another to injury. Last week when they went into the game against Fulham at home, they lost players very quickly during that match. Mukiele had to come off, Jocelyn was injured, Angulo was injured as well in that match. Here on the left-hand side, though, Bournemouth coming forward now. as Sunderland try to avoid further disruption. Brooks gets it into Tavernier. Tavernier back to Brooks again, down the left side of the penalty area. Low ball into the near post. Cut away by a combination of Alderete and Ballard, who both collided and put the ball behind and away for the first corner of the game for Bournemouth. Good play.
Well, it's the first time really Bournemouth have got into the final third of Sunderland. Possession stats state that it's almost 50-50, but no. The eye test will tell you that Sunderland have had a really good start, and that's what David Brooks needs to do. He's left-footed, playing out on the left, and it was your typical left wing play, wasn't it? Little 1-2, whip the ball in, and now a corner.
56% possession for the away side so far, as the corner comes in, the first of the game for Bournemouth, away to our left-hand side. And waiting in the centre, the likes of Tyler Adams and others. Scott gets it back from Krupi, who takes the corner and then gives it back to Scott. And then as the ball comes back from Brooks, it runs out of play. And that was a poor ball by the Bournemouth captain, and it goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the Sunderland penalty area away to our left-hand side. So it's 0-0. We played 10.5 minutes on Talk Sport. Bournemouth, who in a good run, haven't started particularly well, and Sunderland, who have had a terrible time of late, actually, especially away from home. They hardly ever score any goals away from home. Only Wolves have scored fewer away from home than Sunderland, and they've started the game at a really good tempo, moving the ball around and looking as if they can penetrate this Bournemouth defence. And bearing in mind that they haven't got Brian Broby today, that probably looked as if it was going to be very difficult earlier in the day. Alderete with a header away from the edge of the penalty area. Bournemouth trying to get possession for the first time. It's headed over the top and away by Trey Hume as Tyler Adams looks to recycle it. There was a foul on Xhaka there, according to the switch. The referee's played on, and Krupi's got it on the edge of the area, and he's right-footed shot. He's dragged towards the near post, and it goes narrowly wide.
What an opportunity. He's only 20 yards out as well, and some of the defenders were just dropping off. Sunderland play it down, win the ball back. You're inside the box, actually. It's 17 yards out. Sometimes you say when a chance comes really quickly, we'll just try and hit the target. No, he had so much time there, he has to do more than that. Not just hit the target, but put it in a way that the keeper can't get there. So, as well as Sunderland has started, that's the best chance by a million miles so far.
Great chance for Junior Krupi, top-scoring teenager in the Premier League this season. Clashing today with his former manager at Lorient, Regis Lebris, who gave him his senior debut. 18-22 this season. He probably should have hit the target there at least. There's a foul by Siddiqui on Scott in the middle of the Sunderland half. Xhaka, who's got back up after being crunched and complaining of an injury, is now complaining about the validity of that foul. But I do think that Siddiqui caught Scott from behind there, just a little bit on the calf, and that is going to be a free kick in a dead central position for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of fouls, and he's given most of them, Jared Gillett, apart from the one in the box.
Well, they've taken this one short and wide and sent it towards the left-hand side for Brooks, and then collected by Scott again. Lefay has gone out to pressurise Truffert, who's very good at getting forward and getting crosses into the box. Back it goes to Scott, and then picked up by Jimenez, who moves the ball out towards the right side, and now a different angle of attack. And Ryan skates in towards the penalty area, hands it off to Tavernier, gets it back to the right-hand side. Adams cross, Truffert on the edge of the D now, threatens to shoot. Senesi taps it back. Scott, a little bit of silk, will clip this ball out to the far side. It's taken down by Tyler Adams, who moves a couple of steps centrally and then gives it to Tavernier. A bit more possession now and composure from Bournemouth as they look to try and build the play. Sunderland retreating to the edge of their own penalty area, wearing blue shirts and white shorts. The black and red start to charge forward. Tavernier, Brooks, Tavernier, back to the left and Truffert. He's now wide on the left-hand side, combining with Brooks, getting around the outside of the defender, moving into the area. He's blocked off as he tries to get beyond him. And Talby, according to the referee, was just standing his ground, and the ball is cleared away by Sunderland to the halfway line. It's Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now, you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Leeds versus Manchester City today. Live, search Now Sports. Here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, Bournemouth are starting to take control of the game now, aren't they, after what was a really good start from Sunderland. Regis Lebris will be still happy with how the game has started, but Bournemouth needed to get control of it, and they certainly are trying to do that now.
Here is Talby, though, for Sunderland on the halfway line. Xhaka guides it back to Alderete, who joined from Getafe in August. It's part of the Paraguay squad that secured a place in the World Cup. And they have a free kick on the halfway line. Dan Ballard, Northern Irishman, gets it back to Robin Roos. Not a great ball into Ballard. It put him in a bit of trouble, that, and he's wrestling with Tavernier. And the ball is smuggled out for a throw-in, which is quickly taken by Brooks into Krupi. Tries to lay it back to Adams, but good work, actually, by Habib Diarra. And he won a foul ahead of Tyler Adams, and that's going to be a free kick 10 yards short of the halfway line. Barnsley lead Leyton Orient by a goal to nil in League One. David McGoldrick, who scored so many goals last season, that's why Barnsley took a punt on him, and he's scored the opener in League One this afternoon. Derby 0, Blackburn 0, Leicester 0, Norwich 0 in the Championship, and Portsmouth 0, Hull 0 over on Talk Sport 2. Goalless between Northampton and Peterborough, and no goals in League 2. Cambridge MK Dons, Shrewsbury against Walsall, and Swindon against Bristol Rovers. Ball back with Robin Roos, bright orange today. Lays it into midfield for Granit Xhaka, and the Swiss plays it back to Alderete. He looks up, feeds the ball into the creative Enzo Lefebvre, so good for Sunderland last season. Was on loan last season, but that permanent move as soon as they were promoted. Clicked into gear, he's become a central figure in the team. Touched by Gertruda, Mayenda, good play. Talby out on the right hand side. Across comes Senesi, plays the ball out of play. He says that came off Talby last, but the assistant disagrees, and it's a throw-in on this near side.
No, but that was really good play from Roos at the back. I mean, he made Ballard run again, but Ballard got the ball, and then a nice little interchange of 1-2s. You can see the passages of play that you work in on the training ground. Got the ball further up. And do you know what? There's no goals as yet, but it's a really good game of football, isn't it? Played with real high intensity from both sides.
Flick on by Talby towards Mayenda. Misses him and goes through to James Hill for Bournemouth to kick clear. And he does go direct right through the middle of the pitch. Krupi sort of jumps into Alderete. And Alderete ends up on the floor. And the ball is cleared away over to the far side, where Sunderland come forward. Siddiqui helps it on. It goes to Trey Hume, who's going to try and keep it in here. He does. Mayenda trying to turn inside the box. A little back heel, almost came off. And then the assistant on this near side has decided that he did see the ball go out of play 5 minutes ago, and he's raised his flag.
I was just thinking that. I thought, blimey, that looked out to me. And why are you waiting and then 10 seconds just putting the flag up? You know it's gone out. You can put the flag out immediately.
Maybe he's got tennis elbow. It's just... hadn't oiled it this morning. It was a bit difficult for it to get up there.
What was it, a Tin Man?
It's awful. I mean, you just can't do, you know. Here is Mayenda out towards the left-hand side. Enzo Lefebvre trying to get on the end of it. Comes back to Siddiqui, into Mayenda, and then back to Xhaka. Ballard down the side into the path of Sunderland's Mayenda, off the goalkeeper and in. Diarra's shot comes off Petrovic, and it's tucked home by Mayenda, who gives Sunderland a deserved lead. They started the game really well, and they've capitalised on that. The shot across the bows from Habib Diarra, spilt by Petrovic, and it was straight into the path of Eliza Mayenda, who hasn't scored since the opening weekend of the season, but he has now, and Sunderland lead away at Bournemouth by a goal to nil.
Well, you've got to say, as much as Bournemouth have been coming back into the game, Sunderland have started better of the two sides, and Diarra just finds himself with so much space. A really good incisive pass into the box. And do you know what? We're right behind the shot. It was a really good shot going into the far post. Makes the save in the end, Petrovic. And this is why you're taught, even from a very young age, when you're at an angle, aim for the far post, not the near post, because the goalkeeper can only palm it out. He palms it out towards the goal, and if someone just follows it in, it's a simple tap-in, and that's exactly what happened for Mayenda there. Really good goal after what was just a really good passage of play. after what was been a really good start for Sunderland.
I just wonder whether or not Petrovic, when he looks back at that, will think that it was either better to try and keep hold of that, if he could, or get a better push away, because he's almost spooned it straight into the path of Mayenda.
Yeah, look, I think if he felt that he could have saved it and held it, then he probably would have tried to have done. But you're absolutely right. Again, conversely, from a goalkeeper's point of view, you know, they're taught to push it away from goal if they possibly can. Maybe he'll be thinking to himself he should have done better there. But you know, from the positives of Sunderland, the start, how they've been in the last few games, and coming here is a difficult place to go. Bournemouth very strong at home. The way they've started, I think they deserve that so far.
Habib Diarra's got it again, poking it forward to Mayenda, who comes forward, plays it to Talby, edge of the box, tries to cue it back towards Siddiqui. Talby, edge of the area once more, into the box, trying to travel down the right-hand side. He pulls across low into the 6-yard box, and it's gobbled up by the goalkeeper Petrovic and cleared away. 20 minutes gone. It's Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1, and that Sunderland goal coming from Mayenda in the 19th minute of the match. And they have started really well, and they're on the front foot again here. And Bournemouth can't quite cope with the intensity and the movement at the top end of the pitch from Sunderland.
It's almost what you'd expect the other way around. This is what Bournemouth normally do, especially at home. They just don't allow teams to play, and they play at their pace at such a high intensity that other teams can't live with them. And obviously they went, in the corresponding game, they went 2-0 up, and Sunderland somehow came back and found a way to win. I mean, that was a special game, and who knows, this could be something similar.
Well, it was interesting, wasn't it, because you and I both sat down this week and watched Sunderland's home game against Fulham last Sunday, and I mean, it was a dreadful watch.
Felt longer than 90 minutes.
It was lacking in all of the elements that they've come up with today. Here's Mayenda stealing the ball, trying to chip the goalkeeper from some way out. He's never going to be able to test Petrovic from there, and it floats over the top and goes over the crossbar away to our right-hand side. But everything that was absent last week is in the mix today.
Yes, this is the Sunderland of the first 3-4 months of the season. You know, everything to really enjoy about them, the high intensity, the getting tight to the players whenever they're on the ball, and then actually playing really well once they've got it as well. I think not just Petrovic, but maybe the defence will be asking themselves the question, how did Diarra have so much time in the box?
Here is Brooks down the left-hand side, low ball in towards the area, and Bournemouth can't penetrate the Sunderland defence. It comes back out of the box towards Tavernier, who's left of centre. He finds Brooks again, who looks to try and take on Gertrude, and then retreats towards the halfway line. And Senesi. Sunderland started the season in such great form, like a house on fire. They were unbeaten in the first 9 games. They have suffered more defeats in their last 7 matches than they did in their opening 20 Premier League matches of the season. The rhythm had been disrupted, as we thought it might be, by AFCON and injuries, and certainly there are a few missing today. But where Brobby has not been available, it's offered the opportunity for Mayenda, and he has taken it, and they lead by 1-0. But Bournemouth on the attack, looking to respond with Brooks away to our left. Tries to trick his way into a crossing position, little threaded ball into the path of Tavernier. He turns, almost stumbles on the ball before giving it back to Truffert. Now Senesi, who starts a lot of the Bournemouth attacks with his line-breaking passes. He sends the ball back towards Tyler Adams, and then they continue. By the way, we've got an announcement from the PGMO about the penalty that wasn't given. It was deemed, according to the VAR,
not enough.
Normal contact.
Is that right?
Here is Jimenez, who perpetrated that normal contact. Low ball into the near post. Krupi was there, and then just before it was tapped in at the far post by Brooks. Gertrude was just about there in the nick of time to hook it away from a certain goal.
Well, I don't think this game's going to end up 1-0. Certainly not with Bournemouth being 1-0 down. And that is brilliant full-back defending from Gertrude at the far post, facing your own goal, and yet making sure he got there first. And it wasn't an own goal himself. By the way, I wish they had those laws about normal contact when I was playing.
Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1. Ball in towards the centre of the 6-yard box. Punched away by Roos. Comes back out of Jimenez, who strikes it. Takes a deflection inside the area. Accusations of handball. The ball runs to the left. Bournemouth continue their attack with Alex Scott, who travels to the edge of the area, gets on his right foot, deep ball to the far post, headed away by Alderete, and it comes back out for Tavernier. Offside flag is up. And it's going to be a goal kick away to our left-hand side. There was a moment there where there was a little bit of panic for the first time in the Sunderland backline. Leyton Orient 1, Barnsley 1. Levitt with the goal after 20 minutes in League 1. In the Championship, still goalless. Same in League 2. In fact, that's the only game today up at Brisbane Road where we have any goals whatsoever. Apart from here, of course, in the Premier League, where Mayenda has scored for Sunderland.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's been a really good response from Bournemouth since the goal. I mean, I'm just looking at replays of the goal. There's no way Diarra should have been able to have so much time to get into the box, to turn, to take that first touch, to get the shot off. And then once he's got that shot off, it's a really good shot aiming for the far post. Just textbook stuff that even if it doesn't go in, the keeper might just parry it out and then you follow it in. That's exactly what Mayenda did.
If it stays like this, then Sunderland will go into the afternoon fixtures in 8th position in the Premier League. Here the ball has been played down the right for Habib Diarra again. So impressive against England at the City Ground in the summer. And impressive again here today. He's just playing a little bit higher up because Xhaka is back in the team. Him and Siddiqui got more licence to get forward and join in the attack. And they've been doing that in the opening exchanges. 25 minutes gone, 1-0 to Sunderland.
Yeah, and he found, that's a very intelligent play from him, Diarra, by the way, to find that sort of pocket of space. Good first touch, good shot. Yeah, it's a really good game of football. 25 minutes have flown by so far.
Yeah. It might help if the referee stopped blowing his whistle every 2 minutes for silly little fouls and infringements, like the ball was still moving there for the goal kick. It's Tyler Adams back to Truffert, back to Senesi, who sends it long. Gertruda, Xhaka, and then Lefebvre gets control in the midfield. Lovely little flick round the corner. That's a foul from behind by Senesi. He says he got the ball, but it doesn't really matter if you take half the bloke's leg away as well. And it is going to be a free kick 20 yards from the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and Siddiqui just picked up his half of leg and put it back on. And again, I was just looking at the way that Sunderland were pressing Bournemouth. And they were having to then just knock the ball long and high, and Sunderland won the ball back, and now off that they got that foul, and now Sunderland are on the front foot with this sort of free kick 40 yards out in a dangerous position. Just so good without the ball, the intensity today.
Yeah, they're not letting them play. They're not letting them play their game, are they, Sunderland? They're stopping Bournemouth from feeling comfortable. Here's Xhaka with the set piece. He drifts the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's too close to Petrovic this time, who just drops down, grabs it, pulls it into his chest, and he will clear it away. He overarm bowls the ball out towards the far side. Scott now tries to instigate an attack. Headband keeping back his brown floppy hair. He sends it into Ryan, who we haven't seen much of. We gave him the big build-up before the game, Scott. But the teenager, who is a colossus, by the way, 19 years of age, he's absolutely massive over on that far side. He's hardly touched the ball.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he hasn't received the ball. And I think that's down to the midfield. The fact that, again, Granit Xhaka and not just him, everyone in Sunderland have pressed them so well, so the ball's not come out wide at all.
Poor mistake by Siddiqui. He's given the ball to Krupi, edge of the area. It comes back to Tavernier, who hits it, spilt by the goalkeeper. Alex Scott is there. It's a save by Robin Roos to make up for the initial mistake and stop the equaliser from going in. Scott prevented by a big save from Robin Roos, who got back up and spread-eagled his body, and that prevented Scott from scoring. They're still on the attack here. Tavernier back to Jimenez, into Tyler Adams, then flung forward by Senesi into the box, flicked away by Alderete. That's going to go out for a corner.
Do you know what? That was two bits of action from Robin Roos there. Really poor play and then really good play. And it's why goalkeepers practice so much, the shots, and then get up really quickly. That was absolutely brilliant. He should have held that in the first place. He didn't. Again, right in front of goal. Who's going to follow in? It is Alex Scott, but because he was able to get up so quickly and just smother the shot, that's really good goalkeeping in the end. Yeah, and he spread himself so big that he almost did the splits. It hurt my groin. Here is the corner. Low ball into the near post. A flick by Krupi. Back to Jimenez into a crowd of bodies, and it's repelled by the Sunderland defence. And then Trooper has to be very careful because Taubi was putting pressure on him as the ball ran to halfway, and there was no one else to help him out. He just about gets it back to his goalkeeper. That was a well-worked corner from Bournemouth. Yes, it was. You could see that again, another training ground set piece. And you have to. We've seen it this season more than ever, the importance of it. Maybe some people don't like it, or in terms of long throws and with it slowing the game down. The corner's a corner, you know, it will take a little bit of time, but that was a really well-worked corner there that probably deserved the goal.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm against the set pieces, and we mentioned this on the show yesterday when we were doing 10 to 1, Crookie and I, with Gabby Agbonlahor. It's when it becomes like it was on Monday night. I don't know if you watched the game between Everton and Manchester United, where there was just everybody crowding in the 6-yard box. There was loads of pushing and pulling. It was impossible for the referee to get a handle on it, and it just became almost a game of rugby, really.
No, I mean, you asked the question, didn't you? You know, does it need to change, or do we have to wait for the sort of new cycle? And I think that's it. I think teams are finding different ways to combat what's going on in the modern game at that particular moment. And 5 years ago, no one really wanted to throw the ball in long. Now, half the Premier League are doing it. And in another 5 years, you know, no one will do it again. So everything evolves, and that's fine. I'm not sure about the 5-second rule that could be coming in terms of the throws. I think they need a little bit longer than that. But I do understand that really throw-ins are just to get the ball back onto the pitch again, and the fans who pay their hard-earned money to watch the players actually kicking the ball rather than just throwing it.
Ball out over on the far side, where it's picked up now by Bournemouth's Ryan, who travels to the edge of the area, finds Scott, who drags his shot low and well wide of the goal, and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. I think the other issue is the fact that at the beginning of the season we were told that they were going to sort of draw a line under pushing and pulling inside the penalty area from set pieces and corners. They gave 3 penalties in August for them, and they've only given 4 since, which is a bugbear, I think. But, you know, it's very difficult to marshal. The players aren't making it easy for the officials. It's currently Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1. This is TalkSport, and your latest odds are available at Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Bournemouth to win at 3 to 1. Sunderland at evens to get all 3 points, and the draw is 9 to 4. That's all thanks to Betfair, playing a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Robin Roofs has it inside his 6-yard box. I wouldn't do that if I was a goalkeeper, would you? They're sort of standing an inch in front of the goal line, underneath the crossbar, and dragging the ball back. If you make a mistake, it's fatal.
Well, the manager has done that on the training pitch and is asking him to do it. But
does he have to do it there, though?
Goalkeepers have been asked to play number 10.
Oh, no, he's done it. He's brought down Krupi on the edge of the area, and the referee is saying that is a foul against Krupi, not against Robin Roos, who dribbled into him, lost the ball, and then looked to have brought him down. The referee's given the foul the other way. Oh, I'm not sure, Scott.
No, it's not a foul for me at all. I don't think it's a foul either way. You just play on. And just because the keeper's gone down again, I was just about to say that goalkeepers now are being asked to play like number 10s. And number 10s don't even do what goalkeepers do because they're the last line of defence. I mean, the pass he made earlier, yeah, you can argue whether he should or he shouldn't. He absolutely shouldn't be trying to take on Junior Krupi when he's the last man and he's outside the box. He's absolutely got away with that one.
And now Talby's given the ball away cheaply, and Trufair is stealing forward, and Tavernier's picked it up. We'll come back to that incident in just a second. Here is Brooks slipping it down the side for Tavernier, who drives the ball across the face of goal. It's spilt by the goalkeeper again. Adams challenged on the edge of the area. That's going to be a free kick, and I would be surprised if that's not a yellow card for Truda. It's definitely a yellow card for Siddiqui for gobbing off at the referee.
Well, I'll tell you what, and he's an experienced referee, but he needs to be careful he doesn't lose control of this. There's been a couple of decisions, big decisions, that I think he's erred on the side of caution rather than making the right one, the brave one. There's a definite foul there. Siddiqui's obviously said something, but I mean, we can talk about Sunderland fans maybe being angry that penalty wasn't given really early on, but Bournemouth fans can definitely be angry that Junior Krupi was given a foul allegedly that he made. I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was just a little... He's absolutely closed him down.
So the goalkeeper's out on the edge of the penalty area with the ball at his feet, and he's trying to dribble away from Krupi, who comes to close him down. And then, as he looks as if he's in trouble,
he's gone down. He's fallen
down, and he sort of grappled with Krupi more than the other way round.
Absolutely.
And the referee's given a free kick in the goalkeeper's favour, which looks fortunate. I think the actual decision probably there, Scott, should have been play on.
Play on. The decision was make no decision.
And then there was an opportunity then, with the goalkeeper on the floor and out of his penalty area, for Bournemouth to capitalise.
Open goal. You got an open goal.
It wasn't given, it was the foul given the other way, and Sunderland got away with it. And Bournemouth now have a free kick about 7 yards back from the edge of the area. It's just left of centre, and Alex Scott and Tavernier both fancy their chances. There's a three-man wall. Tavernier's going to take it, left-footed, and it's saved by Bruce, who goes towards the near post and pushes it away.
I didn't think that wall was very good, actually, and I'm looking at Tavernier, and you can see he fancies it to get it around the wall with a little bit of whip. And fair play to Robin Roofs. I mean, he should be getting the wall across longer.
Yeah.
He should be a man or two outside the wall, not kind of in line with the post. But he's read it, and he's made sure that he didn't concede there.
Because that was wall side, wasn't it? And it almost snuck in the corner. Throw in by James Hill. There's pushing inside the box. The referee has stopped the game before the ball came in, and he wants to have a word with a couple of players. And Dan Ballard is complaining. They're going to throw the ball back in from the left-hand side again, and Trey Hume is being spoken to, and so is Marcos Senesi, pulled out of that clutch of players in front of the goalkeeper away to our left-hand side. The referee getting a little bit of attention from both sets of supporters here, who I don't think are happy with him. Certainly Hume and Senesi getting very well acquainted inside the box. A little bit of cuddling going on there, Scott. And now we have a reset, and the throw will be taken again. A long throw from James Hill on this near side, angled in towards the near post again. Another player goes down as somebody else falls on top of him. It comes back to Hill, who whips it back into the box. Roofs comes out, catches the ball, and manages to clear it upfield. Well, again, there was look at that. I mean, Xhaka's got Ryan round his shoulders. You've got another defender holding on to Senesi, Hume. They all end up falling on each other. It's like that last moment in Twister when someone has yellow hand and red foot, and you have to put your head on the floor or something. Everyone just collapses in a big pile.
I haven't played Twister in years.
We can have a game if you want one.
It's proper old school, that.
I like Twister.
I
used to like Twister. I'm a bit too old for it now. You know, like when you're a kid, you could get into all sorts of different positions, but not anymore.
Greshina Pilates could probably do it.
Ball over on the far side. Sunderland pick it up off Ryan, who's gone to ground, wanting a free kick he didn't get. Lefay backheels it to Trey Hume, and then it goes back to Alderete, and he skips the ball forward into the chest of Mayenda. He tries to nudge it onto Lefay, and it goes back out over on the far side. It's Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Just having a look at that Sunderland crowd, Scott, and listen, it's a bright sunny day. I'm not sure that the two blokes that have taken their tops off can be entirely comfortable with the temperature, but maybe they are. Our producer back in London has just whispered in my ear, "Is that you and Scott?" No, it definitely isn't me and Scott.
Do you want to copy them?
Dear, oh dear.
We're in the shade, so
yeah, we're in the shade. Otherwise, we'd have been there.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Flexing our pecs. Here is Tavernier down the left-hand side, drawing Ballard out, and he gets the foul. It goes out of play. And actually, the game, which has been really good up until now, just going into a bit of a scrappy phase. Commentary Slope, by the way, live on TalkSport 2 at 3 o'clock this afternoon, as Adrian takes you around the grounds with Mickey Gray and Matt Murray. Scott and I be together again tomorrow. What game are you going to tomorrow?
I've got Fulham Spurs.
Fulham Spurs, that's a big one, isn't it, for Igor Tudor? That's 2 o'clock tomorrow as we take you round the grounds from the Emirates Stadium. Crookie and I will be at Arsenal against Chelsea tomorrow. One of 4 Premier League games we'll keep you covered with. Here's the free kick from Brooks into the penalty area, headed away by Granit Xhaka. It gets almost to halfway, and then Scott tries to flick it through the centre, and it's blocked by Siddiqui. It runs back to the centre circle where the blonde-haired Alex Jimenez nudges it down the right for Tavernier, and Tavernier finds Ryan, who tries to electrify the crowd by bursting into the box, pulls it back through the area, but apparently travelled out of the perimeter of the playing surface, and the flag indicates it's a goal kick away to our left.
No, but that's what he's capable of. You give him the ball, have that one-on-one situation. Really interesting battle, isn't it, with Trey Hume? And Trey does really well, actually, I have to say. First of all, you don't want him to come inside where he's on his best foot and the goal opens up, so you show him outside, and then you're realising it's a one-on-one situation. Can you perhaps stop the cross? And even if you can't stop the cross, at least you've got him on his right foot, and perhaps the quality of the cross won't come in, but Hume's made sure he couldn't even get that in. So really good full-back play.
7 minutes to go before half-time, and Walsall taking the lead away at Shrewsbury by a 1-0 in League Two. Still 1-1 between Leyton Orient and Barnsley, and it's 0-0 in all the championship games, including down at Fratton Park, which is live over on TalkSport 2 right now, which you can listen to via the TalkSport app. Good touch by Krupi to work it wide to Ryan once again, who's got hold of the ball and then switched the play beautifully from right to left, chested down by Brooks into a crossing position. His left-footed ball through towards Tavernier. It was a lovely cross, but neither Tavernier or Krupi, who was careering into the box on the right edge of the 6-yard area, could connect with it, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. What a great move from Bournemouth.
Yeah, and that's what you get when you go a little bit old school and have a left-footed player on the left. You know, you just need a half a yard, and if a fullback hasn't got close, you can whip a ball in. And we know that David Brooks has got a wand of a left foot. It's a brilliant ball. In the end, no Bournemouth player could get on the end of it.
Phil Smith from the Sunderland Echo was talking to us earlier on about Robin Roos and how well he's been playing, and you know, over the course of the early part of the season, but he has had a little bit of dip in form recently, and I do think there's a little bit of a confidence issue here, because his playing out from the back today has been a little bit shaky. Poor old Dan Ballard has had to make up some ground, and the ball he just played to Gertrude put him in all sorts of trouble in the right fullback position. Luckily he's got his teammates out of enough grief so far this season that he's got more than enough credit in the bank.
Yeah, he's had a sensational season, and I don't care who you are, you'll always have a little bit of an up and a down during a season, but you're right, sometimes you don't even think when you're in the zone, and it just all feels natural. Today, at the moment, Roos, when he's on the ball, you can see he is a little bit nervy and he's putting his defence under pressure.
It's been a really good game. Here's Enzo Lefebvre picking the ball up in the number 10 position, shooting towards the Bournemouth goal, flicking the ball over the top of Senesi, and it goes out of play and out for a corner kick to the visitors. Senesi's an interesting one, isn't he? He's out of contract in the summer. He was heavily linked actually with a move to Chelsea during the January transfer window. Obviously no one had looked at his age or birth certificate because he's 28, and that probably unlikely. Liverpool as well been mentioned as well, but he's out of contract in the summer, and I wonder where he will end up. I doubt it'll be I think he's already told them at the Vitality Stadium he's not going to sign a new contract.
He's passed it though at 28 now, isn't he? Isn't that the way that the hierarchy of big clubs look at that?
Here is the corner on the near side, flick towards Alderete, who gets in front of his marker, and then Brooks and Scott a little bit bamboozled by the ball, which bounced high into the air inside the box. Eventually they get it clear. Picked up now by James Hill, who stabs it forward into Tavernier, who's just short of the centre circle for Bournemouth. He plays it wide. Ryan takes it along the edge of the halfway line, and then Tyler Adams gets himself into a bit of a knot, gives away the ball, and Talby comes forward here for Sunderland. I heard earlier on the news on TalkSport that there was someone saying that a 48-year-old was old. They were talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Yes.
Old man, they called him. 48. That was a bit disrespectful, really, to a multi-champion. Here is Truda playing the ball down the right-hand side, looking for Truffert.
48 is extremely young, Sam.
Ball out of play in front of the dugouts. Andoni Iraola with his two hands faced up towards the blue sky, turns around to the referee and says, is he going to get on with it, take this throw, or are we going to wait forever for it? Eventually Gertrude throws it into the middle of the park, and it's pinched by Scott, who loops the ball up, then heads it forward under pressure, and a free kick is given against Talby, and it's a free kick to Bournemouth, who trail here by 0-0. The goal scored in the first 20 minutes of the match by Eliza Mayenda. Only his second goal in 18 appearances this season. He scored on the opening day against West Ham, but predominantly has been used as a sub, but he popped up in the right place at the right time after Petrovic saved the effort from Habib Diarra, and it's 1-0. Truffert to take the free kick for Bournemouth, away to our left. His left-footed ball is deep towards the far post. It's kept alive by Ryan and then headed back across the face of goal, and it's gobbled up eventually by Roofs, who's got it in his hands again, and every time he gets the ball, Robin Roofs, you can hear the contingent from Sunderland over on the far side just bellowing his surname. It sounds a little bit like they're jeering or booing, but they're not. They're saying Roofs. with real gusto. He has been such a great acquisition, really, one of the best of the signings that they made, and it was a brilliant load of recruitment, wasn't it? And the recruitment department that was here last year were excellent, I thought.
Do you know what, when you think about what the recruitment style was, a season or two ago, young, salary not high, try and develop and sell them on, but still try and finish in the top 6 in the championship, to what they've done now, I can't give the recruitment side in the hierarchy enough credit for realising if you go into that route when you've somehow found a way to get promoted and you're amongst the big boys of the Premier League, you will get hurt.
It's a brilliant scouting department.
Yeah,
Stuart Harvey, who was involved in that, was an excellent scout. Here is Scott picking the ball up towards the halfway line. He's got Tavernier to his left and Brooks as well. He moves up towards the edge of the area. He's got Krupi bursting to get into the box. He gives it to Tavernier instead, whose pass, which was aimed to be threaded through to Scott, was cut out by Xhaka, and then Talby will get it clear, but only as far as Truffert, who's just over the halfway line on the left. And a lot of their play, as it did last week against West Ham, centred on coming down that left-hand side. They've got space here, though, for Jimenez, who's in the inside right channel, bursting into space. Ryan is pushed too wide by Jimenez. He keeps it in just about, plays it against Treyhume. Very mature play, actually, by the 19-year-old, who waited for Treyhume to come across, stopped the ball on the byline, pushed it against his knees, and it goes out for a corner. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45.
Yeah, he did well, the youngster. I mean, he's feeding off scraps at the moment, and even that was a simple ball that was overplayed.
Kane Thompson,
very football intelligent in terms of, right, I can't do much here, I'll just win a corner.
Here is the corner over on the far side, in towards the near post. Roos was a little bit isolated there as the ball was headed away. Comes back to Scott, a deep ball towards the far post. It goes over the head of Hume, will just allow that to run out of play. Surely for a goal kick if he can, he does, and it's out and away for our goal kick. I was just about to tell you that Kane Thompson-Summers has scored for Bristol Rovers away at Swindon in League 2. And Swindon in the top 5 in the playoff places, and Bristol Rovers struggling towards the bottom of the league. That would be a surprise result should it stay that way. Here it's Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1, and Northampton have taken the lead against Peterborough just before half-time. In League 1 it's still 0-0 Portsmouth Hull and Leicester Norwich, but Blackburn, and this is bad news for Portsmouth actually at the bottom of the table, have taken the lead in their game in the last few seconds in injury time at the end of the first half. And I could see Scott Minto there just crunching, grimacing, because he knows that might affect Charlton as well. And it's bad news for Leicester too, just outside their relegation places. Here is Granit Xhaka on the halfway line. A reverse ball into the path of Habib Diarra. Met by Senesi, who read that really well. Truffert tricks his way past Siddiqui. Scott across to Jimenez. And now a chance for Bournemouth to build right at the end of the first half. 20 seconds of stoppage time to play. He gallops into opposition territory. Feeds Ryan, who gets round the corner. Pulls the ball back to the 6-yard box. Krupi over the top. From inside the 6-yard box at a tight angle. He lifted that ball high towards the near post, hoping to just get it over the top of Robin Roos, who got down low to try and block it, but it was a swashbuckling move from Bournemouth right from inside their own half. Jimenez galloping forward, Ryan using every inch of the pitch to try and get down towards the far corner. He pulled it back to Krupi and he couldn't help but get it over the top. That's the half-time whistle. It's been a very good first half for Sunderland, who have lost their last 3 Premier League games. They won just once in their last 8 away, but yet they're leading here at the Vitality Stadium. Mayenda giving them the lead at the break. Granit Xhaka is back and he's already getting them moving again. It's Sunderland who lead by a goal to 0 at half-time away at Bournemouth.
Sam, thank you very much. Everyone's starting to pour out just for their half-time snacks. Scott and I are remaining in our places. What a first half.
Do you know what? It's a really, really good first half. And I kind of said almost a little bit tongue-in-cheek that Bournemouth are the form side, Sunderland have lost the last 3. There's a lot of travelling to come down here, and you'd expect then to Sunderland to play really well, because that's the way the Premier League's gone, and that's what's happened today. Sunderland, the start that they had, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have been more impressed with the way they played without the ball, the high intensity. They're not allowing Bournemouth to have any time on the ball, making them kick it long, but not in a way that they wanted for Junior Krupi to run the channels, and then just winning the ball back and starting to control the tempo of the game. You know, they perhaps will feel that they should have had a penalty before the goal came, but they deserved to go 1-0 up at that particular time. Bournemouth bounced back, and I certainly don't think that was a foul on Robin Roos a little bit later on. But we've just got a good game of football here. We really have.
We really have. And on that penalty decision, I feel like it should have been given. You feel like it should have been given. Why wasn't it given?
Don't know. We'll have to ask Jared Gillett afterwards, won't we? And I mean, the PGMO have come out with, what was it again? Enough contact or normal contact?
Normal contact.
Normal contact. You know,
I'm sure many Sunderland fans will disagree with that, and I'm sure it'll be on our television screens later on for us to look back on. Do you think maybe it was because it was so early in the game, the referee was possibly a bit reticent to give it so soon?
Perhaps so. It's the early kick-off. It was early in the game, but you know, it doesn't matter, does it? You know, the mindset should be, even if it's in the first minute, first few seconds, a foul's a foul, and it was a foul. It was as simple as that. And I think the VAR, be interested in the conversations that they had, because I'm a great believer in just try and let the referee ref, and he will make mistakes, but only really go for the clear and obvious. But for me, that was pretty clear and obvious. It was a push in the back. The only thing I'd say is that Lefebvre, he did kind of sort of
made a meal of it, and that probably didn't help. Yeah.
And do you know what? Even if it's from a neutral point of view, of course, even if it's it's your fault for making a meal of it, I would have given it otherwise.
Yeah.
In a way, good, because that's not what we want to see. We want to see just players being honest, and if it's a foul, it's a foul, but don't try and win a foul in that particular way anyway. But no, it was a penalty.
It was a penalty. Sunderland are the second lowest scorers away from home this season in the Premier League. Only Wolves have scored fewer. But today they look like a side a bit more possessed, a bit more with a point to prove. And then with Granit Xhaka back, it felt as though everything was sort of slipping into place.
I think it's one of those where, again, I mentioned this in the first half, where if a player comes in and he's so influential off the pitch as well as on the pitch, he makes other players play better, and that's what we've seen here. It's not as if Granit Xhaka has been absolutely superb. Yes, he's been good in the ball, but everyone else has been really good, and this was the Sunderland that we saw in the first few months of the season. I think we've got a really good second half coming on, because Bournemouth will come on so strong, which might leave space in behind for Sunderland as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to, if we could have heard or hear what Andoni Iraola is saying in that dressing room at half-time. I agree with you. I think Bournemouth will bite back in this second half, but that is coming up after this. Don't forget, we'll obviously be talking about all the weekend's action, and that will be Ali McCoist, Ray Parlour together on TalkSport Breakfast. They'll be on from 6 a.m. on Monday, and they will be reacting to this game and to every single game. Of course, tomorrow's at Old Firm and Chelsea's visit to Arsenal as well. Here at the Vitality Stadium, though, it is Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1, and the second half is up next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Leeds United versus Man City live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
McDonald's wraps, all flavour, no mess. No drips on your drip or grease on your shirt. No crumbs on your keyboard or sauce on your dashboard. Just all the flavour of sweet chili chicken, barbecue and bacon chicken, and new tikka chicken. Wrapped up neat. Served after 11 a.m. Tikka chicken wrap available until the 13th July 26. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability.
Oh, he's really opened up the Sun newspaper there, Jim. No question, Clive. Straight in the middle and right into the free pull-out goals. Goals, yes. The ultimate football coverage with the best expert writers. In-depth tactical analysis. Unrivaled coverage from every league and all the latest football action.
Think you've said it all there, Clive.
Sorry, Jim.
Not to worry, I was reading my copy of Goals anyway.
Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Okay? Mo? Mo?
Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
In 10 metres, take a left at the pile of washing.
Sorry, what?
At the Valley of Toy Dinosaurs, approach the kitchen with no room to cook.
Huh?
Turn right at the floordrove.
Floor?
You've reached Chaos. Recalculating. No, suggest immediate course correction to IKEA for fitted wardrobes, children's storage, and cupboard organisers.
Find your way back to calm. Discover smart storage at your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then...
Substitution.
His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it. Ignition Football. Game day exclusive on TalkSport.
You are listening to Game Day Exclusive on TalkSport. I'm Reshman Chowdhury, and we are here at the Vitality Stadium, where at half-time it is Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1. And don't forget, TalkSport's new podcast, How to Win the World Cup, is available now on YouTube, the TalkSport app, and via your favourite podcast provider. So plenty for you to enjoy outside of your live coverage. Comedians Matt Ford and Jacob Hawley will be speaking to David Seaman about the highs and lows of being the England goalkeeper at France 98 and the 2002 World Cup in Japan and South Korea. Make sure you tune in for that one. New episodes are available every week between now and the Summers Tournament in America, which will, of course, be live across TalkSport. Now, it is halftime in the Championship as well. Over on TalkSport 2, it's Portsmouth 0, Hull City 0. Elsewhere, Norwich City 0, Leicester 0. It's Blackburn 0, Derby 1 in League 1. It's 1-1 between Leyton Orient and Barnsley, and 1-0 Northampton Town 1 up against Peterborough. And in League 2 at half-time, it's Cambridge 0, MK Dons 0. Shrewsbury are trailing to Walsall at home by a goal to 0, and Swindon Town are trailing against Bristol Rovers as well. That one's also 1-0 to Bristol Rovers. OK, it's time to get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Sam Rossbottom joins us from Betfair. Sam, that was a really brilliant first half. So much going on, and I'm just wondering if anything has changed in terms of the odds.
Yeah, really exciting first half of football there on the South Coast. Before the match, we were talking about Bournemouth and their brilliant unbeaten run in the Premier League. 7 games unbeaten going into this one, but they're behind at the break. It is Sunderland who are winning 1-0 and are now the 5-6 favourites to head back up north with all 3 points. They were as big as 16-5 before kick-off. Bournemouth, who were the odds-on favourites going into this one, are now out to 7-2. The draw currently 2-1, but they were turning the screw slightly, weren't they, in the end of that first half? Yeah. You've got to think in that the second half to come, they're going to really ramp it up. Marcus Taverner's looked lively for Bournemouth. He's had 3 shots on target in that first half. He's 9-2 to score in the second 45. Should be an absolute cracker. Looking at our charity bet builder, raising money for the Bobby Moore Fund, we backed Krupi to have a shot on target, Ballard to have a shot, and Xhaka to be booked. Nothing's come in just yet, but all still alive. And all still to play for in the second half. Don't forget as well, shots on target and to be bookmarked. It's just 2 of the many covered by Betfair's Safe Sub. So if our players come off, then our bet will still be alive with those selections. We did back that bet builder just a bit bigger than 4-1. So hopefully those 3 land and we return around £264 to the Bobby Moore Fund if we do so. But Big second 45 on the way, should be fascinating.
Absolutely right. Thank you so much, Sam. As always, that odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only, conditions apply. And go to gambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Now, following us at 2:30, Adrian Durham is taking you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in the Premier League and the EFL. He's at Anfield for Liverpool against West Ham. Adrian, how are you, first of all? How are things up at Anfield?
Well, pretty rubbish, because I've been listening to you guys, but watching my team losing 1-0 at Northampton, and they're absolutely shocking. My message to centre-halves in League One, when a cross comes in, try jumping for the ball.
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that
basic
would be nice.
stuff.
Oh, you don't sound very happy, Adrian.
I'm not.
Are you looking forward to it? You really don't. You sound like proper grumpy bags. Are you excited about Liverpool-West Ham, at least?
I am, yeah. No, listen, once our game's finished and we've lost about 4-0, I can put it behind me.
Yeah.
I am excited about it. The only thing is, Arne Slot has gone again in his programme notes. He says, we're pleased to have won our last 3 matches, especially as we've got a clean sheet. And I'm like, these fans don't care about clean sheets, mate. They just want to win 5-4. They don't want to win 1-0. I don't think he's fully in tune with what the DNA of this football club is, but despite the fact that he won the title last season. I think he's turning them in a direction they don't want to go in, but I think there might be some heat on him if they don't win today.
Yeah, and of course, they got that win last weekend against Forest, but I mean, it was so late. They didn't really look that good for it either. So there's, as you say, that you can't just be happy with clean sheets if you're a Liverpool fan. You want to see good attacking football all throughout, don't you?
You do, and West Ham are becoming a little bit harder to beat, picking up points, so they absolutely need the points because they're still in the bottom 3. So I think this is a good one. There are 3 Premier League games kicking off at 3 o'clock. We're at all of those and around the grounds in the EFL as well, with all the goals as they go in across the FA Trophy, the National League, Scotland. Hearts, the leaders, are playing ahead of the Old Firm game tomorrow at lunchtime. So plenty going on this afternoon. Yeah, lots for you to keep across. I've just got to ask you very quickly about your remark on the podcast, TalkSport's Fiery Fridays on the podcast this week. You said Nick Voltemada is, pound for pound, the worst Premier League signing of all time. Of course, Newcastle hosting Everton today. I mean, you know what? I would love it if he scored. He's going to get a hat-trick. I've done the team talk for him. I think, listen, it's very detailed, this. I mean, there are plenty of players who've been worse and even cost more money. But Newcastle can't afford to be splashing out money and wasting it on players who don't do the job they're needed to do. So look at Anthony at Man United, for example. You could easily say he's a worse signing, but Man United can afford to waste that kind of money. Newcastle simply cannot. So now they've got a striker who they brought in for goals, who turned into a number 10, isn't good enough at that. And now he's in midfield, and Eddie Howe said he wasn't very good at that. It's just not, for me, it's just such a poor signing. And he wasn't even the first choice. So we know it's not the signing they wanted. So, yeah if you look at all the different nuances... Bayern said it, didn't they? Bayern said it right at the start, didn't they? They said maybe, you had... Was it Uli Hoeneß said it? Right at the start of the season that... Yeah. Uli Hoeneß said it was the most ridiculous decision. But anyway, so maybe you and he have something in common. Adrian, great to talk to you as always. Enjoy Anfield today. I hope your team do end up winning. And here the second half is about to kick off, so I'm going to hand you back to Scott and to Sam.
Well, when these two met back in November at the Stadium of Light, Bournemouth raced into a 2-goal lead inside the first 15 minutes. Amin Adli and Tyler Adams scoring the goals. That strike from the edge of the centre circle voted Premier League goal of the month from November. But they've lacked a little bit of threat up top, and that's why they've made a change at half-time. And off has come David Brooks, and on has come Evan Nilsson to lead the line, Scott Minto.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose something had to change. I mean, David Brooks could say, well, hold on a minute, I put some great balls in and I wasn't really given too much service, in the way that Ryan could say the same thing. But clearly, Andoni Iraola wasn't happy with everything. I think Junior Krupi working as that number 9 didn't quite work. He's been very good in that number 10. And although Evan Nilsson, he's not prolific, is he? But he works really, really hard for the side. And Bournemouth probably are a better team with him in it.
Well, Sunderland are shooting from right to left in the second half in blue shirts, white shorts. Their changed kit is the black and white stripes of Bournemouth, who had possession just a moment ago but have given it away. They're shooting from left to right. I'll go through the 2-11s in just a second, but Xhaka is on the ball inside the Bournemouth half of the field. He's found Talby, who's crossed into the box. Actually, it wasn't too bad. Petrovic was so deep underneath his crossbar that it Mayanda had managed to attack that at the near post, there might have been a problem for him. He is just closing down the goalkeeper as he manages to whack it upfield towards halfway, and Petrovic's team have it back with James Hill at the heart of the defence. He lifts it forward. Trey Hume heads straight to Ryan. It's collected by Siddiqui and then sent forward by Xhaka. Lefay does well to keep hold of it and then sends the ball through the centre, and Diarra is powering through. It's another great chance. It's a brilliant save, and he diving headers the ball back towards goal, and it goes narrowly wide of the upright. What a double opportunity for Sunderland. Great little touch by Enzo Lefay to take it away from Tyler Adams. He fed the ball into the path of Diarra, who went charging through the middle of the pitch. He ran a very long way. His shot was straight at the goalkeeper, who sent it back his way, and he tried to head the ball on the floor back towards goal.
It's almost when you're playing with your mates back in the day, isn't it? And you're on the floor and you just sort of dive header it. But to be fair, that's all he could do there. What I would say is, first of all, brilliant play from Lefay in the way that wasn't the greatest of balls. He left it a bit short, Granit Xhaka, for him. Great bit of skill, and then playing it inside, in behind the centre half. But well done to Adrian Trufa. I think he's a really good fullback and a really good replacement for Kirkes. He just came across, and you said about he shot straight at Petrovic, and that was because Trufa had put him under that amount of pressure. So it was a save that he should be making, and that was because the left back came over and helped his goalkeeper out.
Mayenda trying to get away from Hill. Hill sees the ball out of play. It goes out for a goal kick, with an assistant who was closest to it over on the far side did not have a Scooby, so he waited, and then Jared Gillett made the decision for him to give a goal kick.
Tell you what, though, we said about Sunderland starting the first half really well. They've started the second half really well, and if they were able to have scored that second goal, it would be very difficult for Bournemouth to come back, although of course Sunderland did that in this fixture,
of course, yeah,
earlier in the season.
They came back to win 3-2 after they were 2-0 down. Enzo Lefay, Bertrand Traore and Brian Broby who scored. Actually, Lewis Cook was sent off in injury time to add to the drama. We're hoping for a bit more drama here in the second half as Dan Ballard sends a ropey ball back to his goalkeeper. Well, to be fair, Robin Roofs has given him a couple, so he must just sort of test out his footwork. He does manage to deal with it. Ryan picks it up, sends it out towards the near side, and then it's taken on by Jimenez, who sends it to Scott. Scott, who's 8 yards out from the edge of the box, across to Tyler Adams. Back out wide it goes. Jimenez trying to take on Trey Hume, cuts him on his left foot. Will want to go on the outside here. He's just waiting, holding on to the ball down the side of the penalty area, and then tees it up for Tyler Adams, who takes a touch, sends it back again, wants room to get across in Jimenez, but Trey Hume not giving him that. He then travels infield, two players come towards him, he has to go back to Tyler Adams. That's good shape and defending from Sunderland, who blocked all the gaps. The ball is lifted into the box. Roos challenged by Krupi. He grabs the ball under pressure, and Sunderland have possession once again. It's TalkSport. We've played just a little over 3 or 4 minutes in the second half, and it remains Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1.
It's brilliant defending from Sunderland as a team as well. You know, Bournemouth are on the right hand side, maybe could have got half a yard and whipped a dangerous crossing. Good defending from Trey Hume. They made sure that it went back and then across, and in the end Bournemouth had nothing to do with just lump it into the box, and Rivs come out and made the save. So really good without the ball, Sunderland today.
Petrovic is the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Jimenez, Hill, Senesi and True further back four. Adams and Scott in the centre, with Ryan, Krupi and Tavernier behind Evan Nilsson in attack. He's running the channel down the left-hand side now, trying to get away from Alderete. Ball goes out of play over on the far side for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Robin Roos is the Sunderland goalkeeper. The back four, Hertruda, Ballard, Alderete and Hume, Diarra, Xhaka and Siddiqui, who's been booked in midfield. Chemsdean, Talbi, Mayenda and Lefay are the front three. Here's the throw-in from Hill. It's a long one in towards the near post, and it's a good strong header away by Alderete to get it outside of the box. Met by Jimenez for Bournemouth, who try to get the ball forward again. Tyler Adams drops back into a quarterback position to try and influence the play here. He can only nudge it out to the wide left and true fair, and Sunderland just pushed up towards the mid part of their own half. Across it goes from Adams into the path of Jimenez, who's got a bit of room to run into, and then he releases across to the far post, and Tavernier keeps it alive. It goes through the 6-yard box and out the other side, and Emma Nilsson was nowhere to be seen. Truefair trying to keep it in front of the Sunderland fans, and I suppose they're making the most of it, the Sunderland fans. They don't come here very often. It's only actually the 11th meeting, 12th meeting in all competitions. Sunderland lead the overall head-to-head with 6 wins to Bournemouth 2. There have been 3 draws so far. And the first meeting between these two, which didn't happen until August 1988, would you believe? I bet you remember 1988. 1988,
88, yeah, just about.
1988. Kylie Minogue was in the charts with a Locomotion. Salt and Pepper, Push It.
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, I knew that would get you. Kim Wilde.
Kim Wilde, she'd been going on for a bit before then.
Yeah, but she was in the charts. You came. And Yaz, and the only way is up with the #1 single of the day. And the only way is up here for Bournemouth. They're struggling a little bit to get to grips with Sunderland, who have won a free kick over on the far side.
Yeah, again, it's just a really good game of football. Sunderland really impressive how they are without the ball, and obviously they've had that great opportunity already with Diarra. But Bournemouth, you get the feeling they're really trying to turn the screw and get on the front foot. They will be even more intense, and that might open up even more for Sunderland to get on the counter-attack. I'd be really surprised if it stays 1-0.
Oh, Tavernier is getting himself in trouble. He's got the captain's armband on. He's having a word with Jared Gillett. And the reason for that is because the free kick, or the throw-in's been given because it came off him last. He wanted a free kick over on the far side. Referee didn't give it. He moaned about it. They then had a prolonged conversation. It kept going on and on and on and on and on. As he walked away, he said something over his shoulder. The referee had a word with him again. No booking for Tavernier, who's taken over the armband after the substitution of Brooks at half-time. Ball collected by Jimenez on this near touchline. It goes out of play quickly, and it's away for a throw to Bournemouth, who have possession but haven't really tested roofs enough in the second half. We've only played 8 minutes of it. Here is Truefair over the halfway line. It's got Evan Nilsson going through the centre, but he declines the invitation to push the ball forward to him and goes to Senesi instead. Truefair gets it back to Senesi, and they start again. Yeah,
just on Tavernier, I mean, he has taken the captain's armband, and he needs to lead. The last thing Bournemouth need is sending off, and for something like back chat. But it shows how frustrated they are at the moment. It shows how well Sunderland are doing. You know, when Bournemouth are on the ball, they're a really difficult side to break down at the moment.
No shots on target in the second half, or shots at all from the home side. The only real opportunity of the second half came for Habib Diarra, who went racing through the middle and made Petrovic produce a save. Free kick given to Sunderland inside the centre circle. We'll whiz round some of the grounds in just a second to give you all the team news when it breaks. You're listening to Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly. Like Leeds versus Manchester City, live today. Search Now Sports. Ballard takes the ball out of the sky, sends it long and high upfield. Heads it down again as the ball bounces in midfield. Siddiqui can't get there. Scott puts it out. It's going to be a Sunderland throw in the right fullback position. I think they're pretty happy with the way the second half has started, you know, Scott.
No, they will. I mean, it's Bournemouth certainly with a lot of possession, but it's Sunderland who have had the shots both on and off target. Bournemouth still in this second half not a shot on or off target. So, yes, they're having the possession. Yes, they're trying to break Sunderland down, but at this moment in time, and I can't keep stressing at this moment in time, Sunderland are defending really well.
Well, football changes quickly, as you say, and that's the reason why you're caveating that. We mentioned in the first half the entertainment factor that comes at Bournemouth usually. 88 goals have been scored in their 27 Premier League games, more than any other side. Manchester United the closest to them with 85, and that's goals scored and conceded, so that's why the entertainment factor. Sunderland's games, by comparison, only 61 goals in their matches, and only Everton's matches have produced fewer goals. This is maybe a little bit tighter than Bournemouth would have hoped, because it's Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 1. 1-1 between Northampton and Peterborough, as Jimmy J. Morgan gets the posh level.
Well, what you said about, normally with Bournemouth games there's lots of goals, and with Sunderland games there's not so much, and I think that, it's playing out what we're seeing at the moment. This is the way that Sunderland want it to go. They're more in control of the game, even if in the second half Bournemouth are having more possession.
Ball won in midfield by Diarra, who's been terrific again. I thought it was a brilliant signing when they picked him up, I've got to be honest with you. He is the club's record signing after joining from Strasbourg for 27 million quid. It's a player who was excellent for Senegal in the AFCON as well. He's an AFCON winner now, and he'll go to the World Cup in the summer. Ball out of play on this near touchline. Ryan was the far last touch, and it goes out for a throw-in. Regis Labrie looking a little bit pensive on the touchline, and Tony Areola looking a little bit defensive. His arms crossed across his shoulder, moaning again about the time being taken over this throw-in, and eventually it's released down the left towards Mayenda. He can't get control of it, but it's won by Enzo Lefebvre. A lovely little turn by him, so balletic. He feeds it in towards Siddiqui, who cross-fields the ball towards the right-hand side now, and they attack from the other angle. Here is Talby playing the ball into Diarra, getting it back again. A little bit too heavy from Diarra, and it runs out of play and out for a goal kick away to our left. So here are the latest scorelines across the EFL network this lunchtime. It's Derby 1, Blackburn 1, Leicester City 0, Norwich 0, Portsmouth 0, Hull 0 over on TalkSport 2. In League 1, it's Leyton Orient 1 now, Barnsley 2. 1-1 between Northampton and Peterborough. Cambridge 0, MK Dons 0, Shrewsbury 1, Walsall 1, and Swindon 0. Struggling Bristol Rovers 1. Challenged by Adams on the halfway line. Referee is absolutely surrounded immediately, and Trey Hume looks Granit Xhaka looks in some pain here, and there was quite a hefty challenge on the ankle from Adams. His studs were raised a little bit, but I think he slipped into the challenge, Scott.
No, he's caught him, there's no doubt about it, but I'm sorry, we can't be sending people off for that. He's gone for the ball first, the ball's kind of gone squirted out to the side, and the follow-through, he can't stop himself on the follow-through, and he's allowed to try and win the tackle. It's not over the top, in my opinion. He's got a yellow card for it. I think that's Granit Xhaka. Look, it's painful. There is contact in football, and there's some challenges that are naughty, and you know they're naughty. That was not a naughty challenge. It was a strong one, don't get me wrong, and he's caught him. Yellow card at worst, definitely not a red, but because you've got two players really going in for it, and you know what it's like in slow motion as well, they'll always try and look at the worst point of it. I just think he's tried to go in strong and actually just off the back of it caught, but maybe they'll turn around and say it was careless.
Well, I think Xhaka is hurt here, which is the problem, and that is a big problem, and the VAR is checking for a possible red card for serious foul play. And I think the only issue you've got here, Scott, is that the foot lands on top, his foot, Adams's foot, lands above the ankle, and if you land above the ankle, they will have a look at it in quite some detail.
I'm not sure that's above the ankle, Sam, and
I think the top of his toe just connects with...
but where's he meant to put his foot after the tackle? You know, we saw one midweek in the Champions League, which, you know, where are you meant to put your foot afterwards?
Yeah, it's just a yellow card, I think, and that's fair. And I think the VAR has decided that is the case. And now Xhaka and Tyler Adams are arguing on the halfway line. Xhaka is back on his feet now. Xhaka is not happy at all about the decision.
I'm not denying he's caught him, and I'm not denying it'd be painful, but that doesn't always necessarily equate to a red card. I'm not having that. You've got to have tackles in the game.
Right, well, we'll take a little bit of a trip away from here as the free kick's about to be taken, and very quickly get off to Anfield, where Matt Jones has team news from Liverpool West Ham.
Yeah, one change for Liverpool as they seek a third win in a row. Gomez is back at right back. Jones drops to the bench from their 1-0 win at Nottingham Forest. As for West Ham, unchanged from their draw at Bournemouth, with Adama and Wilson having to make do with a place on the bench. Liverpool against West Ham.
Tavernier runs at the defence and then plays a poor ball in towards Evan Nilsson as he looks for the return. It's cleared away by Ballard and goes out of play on this near side. We've hit the hour mark on TalkSport, the Vitality Stadium on the south coast. Bournemouth in good form, unbeaten in 7 coming into this match, trailing at home to Sunderland, who are without a win in 3. Poor kick out, and it comes straight back to Mayenda inside the penalty area. Senesi comes across on the rescue, and he gets Petrovic out of dodge. Well, Petrovic, I think, was at fault for the goal, and he almost caused his team another big problem there, Scott Minto.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Mayenda's first touch was a little bit better, Senesi wouldn't have been able to make that challenge, and maybe even could have just, if he didn't get the shot off, got his body between the ball and a defender and won a penalty there. Opportunity.
Interesting as the ball comes forward for Bournemouth on the left-hand side again. A brilliant defending by Alderete. They're going to make a change here, and yellow, another free kick for a foul on Xhaka. They're targeting him a little bit here. The referee is stopping him from taking it quickly. He wanted to release the ball over the top, so Tyler Adams is going to be withdrawn, I think, just in case, after picking up that yellow card. He's getting a bit spicy in that midfield area, and Ryan Christie is coming on, so that's an interesting change from Andoni Iraola. Let's go off to Turf Moor. John Dunn's got team news from Burnley-Brentford.
And it's a first Burnley start for James Ward-Prowse. One of three changes from the Clarets. 1-1 draw at Chelsea. Lucas Perez and Jakob Brun-Larsen, the others to start, replacing Kyle Walker, Leslie Ugochukwu and Marcus Edwards. Brentford's 11 shows 5 changes from last week's loss to Brighton. Goalkeeper Kevin Kelleher is injured. Hakan Vladimirson makes his third Premier League start in goal. Hickey Janel Henderson and Lewis Potter are replaced by Kayode, Yarmulke Damsgaard and Sade. At Turf Moor, Burnley and Brentford.
Back here it's still 0-0. The ball is out of play. It has got a little bit scrappier in this second half, hasn't it, as both teams have wrestled for control. Here is Gertrude back to halfway. Short ball into Ballard, who deals with it. So I'm getting a short ball from Gertrude, a short ball from Rose. I've got to do extra running here, lads. Any chance? Here is Xhaka trying to feed the ball down the left for Enzo Lefebvre. Almost reached him as well. He plays it Jimenez against Enzo Lefebvre, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Still in the balance here, and it's 1-0 to the away side. Sunderland, who are hoping to go 8th in the Premier League with a victory. Away by James Hill. He kicks it long up the pitch. It's over the head of Ryan. Cleared by Alderete. Chested down by Enzo Lefebvre. Won by Ryan Christie in midfield, who was maybe dragged to the floor there by Lefebvre. And the free kick quickly taken by Christie, who spots a bit of movement over on the far side for Tavernier, who takes it out of the sky, gets his cross, unloads it into the box, and it's in by Evan Nilsson. The goalkeeper came out, completely missed it, and Evan Nilsson was lurking at the back post to head it against the underside of the crossbar and in, and Bournemouth are level, and it's a big goalkeeping mistake which has cost Sunderland dear. It's Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1, and the substitute Evan Nilsson has combined with the captain Tavernier, and Bournemouth are back on terms.
Well, you can ask questions of the goalkeepers for both these goals. It was a really good, quickly taken free kick, 50-yard crossfield pass to Tavernier, which meant that he was able to have time to bring it down and whip in a really good ball. But Robin Roofs, I mean, look, he's had a wonderful season, of that there's no doubt, but there's also no doubt just in the last couple of weeks just dropped off that high level. I'm not actually sure if Ballard got a touch there before Evan Nilsson. It doesn't really matter because Evan Nilsson got the last touch.
But what did he get the last touch with, Scott? Because the VAR is checking the possibility of a handball. So we have a delay, and the Bournemouth crowd weren't happy about that. I haven't seen a replay that suggested a handball yet, so I'd like to see it again, to be honest with you. As the ball comes across, he does lead with his arm in the air. It hits the sort of side of his head, doesn't he? He doesn't make clean contact with it. I think it's off his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, how can you turn this goal down? You can't be 100% sure it's come off his arm. You can argue about the T-shirt line. I'm with you in terms of the shoulder. Looking at a different angle, you can't disallow that.
You can't disallow that for handball. And they're not going to. They're going to give the goal. I think it came off the top of his shoulder. It was pretty apparent from one or two replays there that there was no infringement, and the decision is goal, and it's 1-1. So let's go off to St James's Park, Newcastle-Everton. Team news from Steve Harmison.
6 changes for Newcastle: Pope, Chow, Hall, Ramsey, Alanga and Gordon in, Ramsdale, Botman. The 2 Murphys, Asula and Barnes out. 4 for David Moyes' Everton: Beto, O'Neill, O'Brien and Mikulenko in. Barry, Keane, Armstrong and Igagbrunun has dropped out to the bench.
Thank you, Steve. We'll keep you in touch with all the goals as they go in throughout the course of the afternoon. And with Adrian Durran, who'll be on air as soon as we finish here, and I'll try and snaffle up some interviews for you with Andoni Iraola and Regis Labrie straight after the game as well. And we'll get those into Game Day Live before we take you around the grounds on this Saturday afternoon. This is Talk Sport, and it's 1-1 between Bournemouth and Sunderland. Evan Nilsson with the goal that has levelled things up here at the South Coast after a cross from the left-hand side from Tavernier. And now Trey Hume is sending it into the box at the other end. It's headed away by Christie, whose crossfield ball actually set up that move for Tavernier. It was a delightfully well-taken free kick. And I suppose Andoni Iraola would be able to take a lot of credit because both substitutes have come off the bench and had a major influence in the destination of maybe the points as Scott picks it up on the edge of the 18-yard box and feeds it to Truefair, all clear.
I don't know, I've been spending too much time with you or vice versa, but you read my mind there. That's exactly what I was going to say. Well done, Iraola. I'm not saying Tyler Adams couldn't have played that, but he probably wouldn't have done. And Ryan Christie, by bringing Alex Scott further back, but having Ryan Christie playing that kind of Alex Scott role, him being on the pitch, he saw that, he played it, and it gave Tavernier the time to bring it down and whip in a really good cross. Still goalkeeper mistake, but it all came from Christie.
I love Ryan Christie. I think he's a terrific little footballer, I've got to be honest. And they've really missed him not being in the team, actually, because of the injuries that he's sustained. And he's missed a lot of football, but he's back now, and he can have a real big influence on the final few months of the season. Remember, Bournemouth unbeaten in 7, looking to go unbeaten in 8. It's now Leyton Orient 1, Barnsley 3 in League One. And David McGoldrick, who is almost, I mean, listen, as we heard earlier on, you're old if you're 48, so old David McGoldrick is getting up there. He's 38 himself now. He's got a hat-trick today for Barnsley. Well done to him. He was terrific last season and in League Two, and he's been terrific this season as well. Ollie Palmer has scored for Swindon. It's 1-1. Here on the left-hand side, the ball has been picked up by Tavernier. It goes out of play and out for a throw-in to Bournemouth, who are back on terms.
38, he's a mere baby.
Yeah, you're not finished at 38. He's had a good old career as well, hasn't he? The former Republic of Ireland international. He was at Notts County last year, and I know Notts County manager Martin Patterson was really upset about losing him in the summer because he scored a lot of goals. I just remember speaking to him ahead of a cup tie down at Bracknell earlier in the season. Ball sent long down the left-hand side. Siddiqui sends it forward. Talby tries to turn the ball away from the centre circle. Was it Bracknell or was it Brackley? Brackley, I think it was. Talby tries to get hold of it again. It takes a little deflection on the way through, and it's cleared by Truefair up towards the halfway line. It remains 1-1 on Talk Sport. Back to Truefair. Been a good signing in that left-back position, as Scott was saying. You know, Scott's an expert on left-backs. And Miloš Kerkez was replaced by Truefair in the summer, and they haven't really noticed it. In fact, Bournemouth have probably come better out of that deal, Scott.
Yeah, I think it's, absolutely. You know, it's almost like for like on the pitch, and obviously they've got a lot of money for Kerkez as well, so I can't argue with that. And Kerkez was superb for Bournemouth, wasn't he? So for Truefair to us be talking about that, you know, in that way, about him in that way, then I think that's a massive, massive compliment.
Off comes Talby and on comes Bertrand Traore, who scored in this fixture earlier in the season. He comes on now just to add a little bit of experience over on that far side. The Burkina Faso international had a short spell, almost everywhere, but at Chelsea and at Ajax. He's been around the block a bit. Here is Truefair as Enzo Lefebvre goes down and is out of the game. It's picked up now by Jimenez, who shoots from distance from the edge of the box, and it flashes past the post. Well, Jimenez on the edge of the area whilst Enzo Lefebvre was down inside the Bournemouth half of the field. The referee allowed play on. Jimenez caught that really well, and it was only about a yard wide of the left-hand upright, and Robin Roos was interested.
Yeah, he was diving, wasn't he? He wasn't 100% sure. Absolutely right from the referee to play on. It's not head injury. I'm not saying that Lefebvre isn't in pain, but play on and see what happens. Not into this stopping the game and being all sportsmanlike in that way.
You ruthless individual, Scott. You're listening to Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. Goal kick away to our right, and they're taking their time over it. Ballard into his goalkeeper Roofs. I wish they wouldn't do that. Gives me a heart attack every time. He plays it back and he's almost on the goal line under the crossbar when he receives the ball. He hasn't been that secure with his feet today. I wouldn't be doing that. Here's Jimenez into the penalty area, trying to find Tavernier, who got in front of Ballard for a second, and it goes out of play. Xhaka's not happy with Alderete. He's screaming at him for not dealing with Evan Nilsson and not getting in front of him there. He got blocked off, and that allowed Tavernier to squeeze through a tight gap, and he missed the target.
Yeah, but I think Alderete did it right there, because Evan Nilsson, he didn't get a shot. It wasn't him who got the shot on target. So I thought it was goal side. It was all over him, but without giving a penalty as well. But I don't mind that. That's leadership, having a go. If Alderete has a go back, that's absolutely fine as well. Just keeps everybody on their toes. You get the feeling, though, Bournemouth smell a winner. Yeah. I do think maybe that was a bit of Granit Xhaka passing on a little bit of blame. Yeah, quite possibly.
because actually it meant that he had to try and stop Tavernier, and he didn't, and there was two of them on Tavernier and still managed to wriggle through and get the shot away.
Yeah, but then Ballard's the next one, and he should be goal side and making sure that he doesn't get that shot off. And Xhaka, he wasn't the one who sat right in front and made the clearance himself. It's almost having a go at someone you feel you can have a go at, but everyone hearing it. And lads, we need to get up here, because Bournemouth are very much on top at the moment.
Yeah. A bit like when Sir Alex Ferguson, when he couldn't have a go at a player in the dressing room, used to just have a go at Wayne Rooney.
Absolutely. It's like we have a go at Crookie.
Ball up towards the halfway line. Crookie still waiting for his first goal over on TalkSport 2, by the way. It's still 0-0 between Portsmouth and Hull. And all square in all the games in the Championship. Norwich have just scored. They lead Leicester by 1-0. Ball into the box from the left-hand side by Tavernier. Comes back out to Scott, who blasts the ball from 30 yards, but was always veering away from the goal, away to our right, and out for a goal kick. Well, breakfast is back on Monday morning. The Superstar Breakfast Show every day from 6 a.m. Ali McCoist is going to be joined in the studio by the Premier League icon, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Looking forward to that.
Jimmy's not getting up at 6.
Well, Robin Roos is getting booked here for delaying the restart. They've been complaining, the Bournemouth bench, about the time they've been taking over these restarts, and eventually Roos has been carded by the referee. It's a yellow card for Robin Roos. In fact, I think De Ballard was the one who was taking the dead ball, so maybe he should have been the one that was booked.
Well, out of the two, if I were a Sunderland fan, I'd be wanting my goalkeeper to be booked rather than my centre-half. Much more chance of the centre-half getting a second yellow.
Yeah. Ball sent forward by Xhaka into the path of Enzo Lefebvre. He sends it wide out to Siddiqui, who's moved out into a left wing position, looking to take on Jimenez. He brushes past him, bursts into the box, sets it back into the area, and it misses everybody and goes past the R and out the other side. And Tavernier looks to spring an attack. Looks like Angelo is going to come on for Granit Xhaka in the next few minutes of the game. 74 minutes on the clock. It's back to Hill. That was a little bit dicey. He's given it to Christie, who can deal with it in tight positions, and he wriggles out and sends it forward into Evan Nilsson, who's got the equaliser. He charges up over the halfway line into a wide position. It's picked up by Ryan, and he tries to nudge it infield, and it's blocked by Enzo Lefebvre. And then it goes all the way through to Christie. Hull have scored away at Pompey, and that is not great for Portsmouth at the bottom of the table. Although they'll be pleased that Blackburn have conceded as well. Here's Ballard. Hume, edge of the area, under pressure. Bournemouth now pressing and looking for that winner in the game. They may well feel as if they're going to get it and turn the tables on Sunderland for what happened up at the Stadium of Light. Here the ball is sent into the box by Truefair, but he's wildly swiped at it, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Here's the change, and off comes Granit Xhaka, and on comes Angelo, who had to come off with an injury last week, but he is available from the bench today.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably gone as many minutes as he possibly can. Don't forget, he's been out for a good few games, came off the bench last week for 20 minutes. The last thing Sunderland need is him being injured and being out for, again, another few weeks, maybe even longer. But it's certainly not a substitution that Regis Lebris would have wanted to have made at this particular point when they're on the back foot, and a point would be a very, very good result to go home and travelling back up to the northeast. You don't want to take away your captain, your leader, your talisman, the guy who can help direct things.
So you've got Traore on the right, Angulo on the left-hand side, Mayanda through the centre, and it means that Siddiqui has gone into the middle of the park again alongside Diarra and Enzo Lefay. And that's for the final 14 minutes of the game, where it's currently Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1. And for the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Bournemouth to win the game at 9-4, Sunderland 5-1 to get all 3 points, 11-8 on is the draw. That's all thanks to Betfair, playing a different league with Safe Sub from Betfair. BeGambleAware.org. Here is Senesi on the edge of his own penalty area, sending it long towards the halfway line. It's flicked on by Tavernier, but gobbled up by Ballard. Ballard will just shuffle it back to Robin Roofs. And are we going to get a winner here down at the Vitality Stadium? We might have a winner in the big game in the Championship. Matthew Clark has scored for Derby. They lead by 2-1. They've come from 1-0 down. Here's Trey Hume moving up to the edge of the area, slipping the ball to Angulo. He tries to get the ball across the face of goal, but then just taps it against Jimenez and wins the corner instead. And it's out for a corner over on the far side.
Well, Alex Jimenez, just a couple of times now, he's almost sort of dived in or just been half a yard short. A couple of minutes ago, he dived in too quickly, and just then, when you're just half a yard away and you're a little bit tired, you make lunges. And he's inside the box, and if that hadn't have timed well, then that would have been a guaranteed penalty. In the end, he just about got there, but still a corner for Sunderland.
And we're in the 78th minute of the game, and Bournemouth's set-piece frauties are well known. It's in towards the near post, and Ballard is up there with an effort, and he glances that header towards the far post, but it's way off target.
Great ball in, wasn't it? And actually, it's good defending from Bournemouth. They're one of the smallest in the Premier League, and Ballard, it's actually a free header, isn't it? He'll be thinking to himself, he's got to hit the target. If he hits the target, the pace it was coming at, unless it's straight at the keeper, it's got absolutely no chance. So it's a brilliant ball in.
Just seen a replay of the goal again, and I can't really work out what Robin Roofs has seen there. Because he's just come out into no man's land, completely misread the flight of the ball. It's gone way over his head, like miles. Not even just a little bit, but a lot. He didn't even reach his arms up because he knew halfway into his stride pattern that he was coming out for something he wasn't going to get. And then he just looked over his shoulder. Oh dear. Emma Nilsson was there.
Yeah, he completely misread the flight of the cross, didn't he? And once he's missed it, he's thinking, please no, oh no.
Now maybe Evan Nilsson is thinking, oh no, because he's gone down from that corner and he's getting some treatment away to our left-hand side. They are about to make a couple of changes. Amin Adli and Enis Unal about to come on for Bournemouth. Amin Adli, who was on his best run of starts actually for Bournemouth before he was dropped for this game. Just take a look at that header again. Dan Ballard usually is pretty effective from those situations. Remember the goal he scored in the semi-final of the Championship playoffs last year? Dramatic goal right at the very end. And he got up really well there. Could have turned the tide of this game. Just having a quick look away to our left to see about who's going to be replaced by Unal and Adli, but the referee has not allowed the substitutions yet. Angulo has just run into Senesi and then won a foul somehow. Jared Gillett very quick on the scene, and Sunderland have another free kick. They want to make a change here, Bournemouth, and Jared Gillett's been told by Andoni Iraola.
Iraola quickly wants Evan Nilsson to come on. They're down to 10 men, of course, so
he's back now.
Yeah,
but he's not moving very well, is he?
He's trotting on at best.
Yeah, and Evan Nilsson knows he's injured because he keeps looking up to the sky and he can't walk properly. So Krupi's off, Enis Unal is on, Adli comes on, and Tavernier comes off. He's just recovering from a hamstring injury, Tav. And it'll be interesting to see now whether or not they decide to bring off Evan Nilsson in the next few minutes.
Well, he'd be hoping not to. Now he's made that substitution.
I wonder if they should have just waited just a little bit. But anyway, let's see what happens next, because there is a free kick here. Enzo Lefebvre going to drip it into the box. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if he went for the near post. He sent the ball long and towards the far post instead. It's fallen to Mayenda, and then it's headed by Ballard into the net, and the offside flag is up. Well, before they can celebrate, Ballard's header rippled the back of the net. At the same moment, the offside flag went up over on the far side. It'll be fascinating to see via VAR whether or not there was an offside there. And certainly, I'm not sure there was at the back post. Is Gertrude interfering with play in front of the goalkeeper? He is.
Yeah, he is. And it's, for the Sunderland fans and the Sunderland bench who jumped up and were jumping all over each other before the flag went up, they'll be absolutely devastated, but I do think that's the right decision.
Yeah, he got in the way, didn't he? If he had just got out of the way of Dan Ballard, that would have been 2-1. No goal, offside against Gertrude is the VAR ruling, as Norwich go 2-0 up away at relegation threatened Leicester City. Remember, they've been docked loads of points at the bottom of the table, and they are really struggling to keep their heads above water. They'll drop into the bottom 3 as a result of that defeat if it stays that way. And it means that West Brom, with a game in hand, have a chance just to put a bit of distance between them and the bottom 3 when they play later on.
Oxford away.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock in the Championship.
What a game that is down the bottom.
Yeah, Oxford are 23rd, and West Bromwich Albion at the moment just about out of the relegation picture and 21st. It's going to be a bit of a battle down there, isn't it, right to the end of the season. Portsmouth training at home as well doesn't help them. Here's Jimenez, halfway line. 1-1 the score with 8 minutes to go. Bournemouth, who have been a little bit lucky, I think, not to have conceded more goals today, bearing in mind that Sunderland probably should have had a penalty. And they've had a goal disallowed as well, Sunderland. They'll be hoping that they can recalibrate once again and go for this winner. Evan Nilsson still not moving particularly brilliantly, but he keeps turning around to Iraola and saying he's okay. He's not okay. Iraola wants to make a change. Evan Nilsson has told him no, but he can't continue, surely. Corner kick over on the far side. It will be taken by Alex Scott. We're into the final 7 minutes of the game here on TalkSport. It's finally poised at 1-1. Remember, Bournemouth want to get into the top 8. Want to keep pushing up above Brentford as the ball comes in towards the near post, and it's straight into the arms of Robin Roofs, who this time collects really easily and immediately dispatches it up to Noah Siddiqui, who gallops forward, and he's in a good position here, and he's got an outlet in Trey Hume running through the middle, but the ball wasn't perfect, and it was cut out by James Hill, and Bournemouth come forward again. It's fascinating watching the benches, isn't it? Away to our left, we're right behind them here, and there was a Bournemouth coach there after that foul was made on Alex Scott, who came running out and charging at the fourth official down in front of us and putting him under real pressure. And he ran up to, but he put up his hands behind his back like an appealing player. Evan Nilsson is coming off. They are going to make the change, another change, and on comes Alex Tort, who they bought from Ferencváros, where he was excelling under Robbie Keane. But that's a substitution they didn't want to make, Scott Minto.
No, they didn't. And yeah, it's surprising someone as good as Andoni Iraola that he didn't just wait to see how Evan Nilsson was going to be. That's a great opportunity for him. Taught, that is.
Yep. Costs 10.4 million quid, and they don't get much wrong in terms of recruitment, and I think he's pretty well thought of. He's going to play as a sort of number 10 here behind Enis Unal. I mean, they do have the personnel on the pitch for the right balance here, don't they? But I think the reason for bringing Unal on was because he wanted to go for the winner. Here is James Hill trying to escape from defence, but he's given it away to Angulo, who's found Bertrand Traore, whose touch was too heavy. It's hooked away by Trufair, and Sunderland is now trying to recycle it on the right-hand side. Gertrude bundles his way past into the box, and Tort brings him down, and Tort's first action of the afternoon is to get a yellow card.
Blimey, you go on and say, make an impression. First thing you do is give a foul away. I think that's just, I say too far out. It's kind of central, just right of centre of the goal, probably in line with the goal post, the left-hand side goal post, if you're looking at the pitch from the goalkeeper's point of view. But it's 30 yards out, so it might be worth a pop.
He doesn't want to be taught a lesson, does he, here?
Oh, man.
It is 30 yards from goal, just right of centre. 1-1 the score, 4 minutes to go. Enzo Lefebvre standing over it. Sunderland, who were in front for a long time in this game, then pegged back by Bournemouth, and looks as if they were going to wilt a little bit, and now just come back into the game, and it's they who are just pressing for the winner right at the end of the match. Enzo Lefebvre standing over it, just right of centre. There's a 3-man Bournemouth wall. Petrovic trying to line things up here. Lefebvre slips it down the side. It's a poorly executed free kick. He was looking for Angulo, and then Urchin Traore commits a foul as Adley looks to escape, and it's Bournemouth who want to get it restarted very quickly. True Fair trying to get it forward. Alex Scott eventually gets it. There was a couple of blockers there to stop the restart, but the referee took no action. Ryan has been sent a bit wide, but he's got the speed to keep the ball in by the touchline. He tries to take on Siddiqui. He runs infield. He plays it into the box. They're a little bit sleepy there, the Bournemouth forwards. Unal and Tort not reacting well enough. Ballard picked it up and bundled his way forward towards the halfway line and took the pressure off his defence.
You know what? That's brilliant defending from Dan Ballard, who was fouled probably 3 or 4 times during the time he had that ball, and just because he didn't go down doesn't mean to say it's not a foul. He wants that to sort of kill the game, and as he's laid the ball off, he's had an absolute go with the ref and say, what point are you going to give a foul?
Roof's kicking it long under pressure, and he manages to find Trey Hume, but it's been picked off by Ryan Christie, who tries to clip it forward. It hits the back of Trey Hume and comes back into midfield, but Christie has recycled it, and Bournemouth have it again. Senesi with a lovely floated delivery out to True Fair, into Tort inside the penalty area. He sends it into Unal, who turns, gets it under control, can't get the shot away. There's a punch by the goalkeeper. He hits his own player in the face, and the ball is scrambled towards the halfway line, and Sunderland just about survive. But Enis Unal, if he was a little bit sharper there, may well have finished it. But now Diarra has won it. He's got Traore in space over on the far side. There's a challenge there by Enzo Lefebvre, who's hurt himself in the execution of that tackle. Christie says to him it was a naughty tackle anyway, but Jimenez is sending the ball into the box at the other end. Christie's absolutely furious, by the way, with that challenge, and they want a VAR check for a possible red card because it was a little bit naughty, according to Ryan Christie. What did you think, Scott Minto?
I thought it was a fine challenge from Enzo Lefebvre, but it's one of those where the attacking midfielder tries to get in hard, comes off a little bit worse off, and then has tried to make it look like he's been fouled, whereas if anything it was the other way, but I actually don't think it was a foul at all. But I mean, boy, Bournemouth are knocking at the door now, and Sunderland are just very much on the back foot. Talking about how well organised they are defensively. It's almost like Bournemouth are kind of breaking through that organisation, and it's almost last-ditch defending from Sunderland, doing so well. And it'd be heartbreaking for them to not come away with something after playing so well, especially in the first half. But this is what Bournemouth can do.
Yeah, that was a really good bit of defending, actually, by Noah Siddiqui. It was on the floor, just blocking that effort from Enis Unal. Took one touch too many. And as a result of that, they managed to get it away eventually, Sunderland, from the Bournemouth attack. But Ryan is going down this right-hand side again, trying to get past Trey Hume, who nudges it out of play. It comes back to Ryan once again. Christie helps it back to Jimenez, who charges forward, bursts into an advanced position, is robbed, taking the ball to Angulo, who then relieves pressure and then sends it up to Enzo Lefebvre. Ryan Christie has just gone through the back of Enzo Lefebvre. That was always going to happen. That's called retribution. He wasn't happy with the initial challenge that Enzo Lefebvre had on him, and he has got him back, and he's just bent over and he's given him a few words in his ear as well. That, I'm afraid, was always coming. Christie saw the red mist come down, and he has dealt with the problem, let's just put it that way.
Well, I mean, actually, the bigger picture is Sunderland have got what they wanted. They're killing a little bit more time when Bournemouth have been on the front foot. So from Ryan Christie's point of view, it's a tackle he didn't need to make. But the moment that Enzo Lefebvre was trying to sprint into the Bournemouth half and then started to turn back, there was only one thing that Ryan Christie was going to do.
My mate who came out and confronted the fourth official just moments ago from the Bournemouth coaching staff has got himself a yellow card eventually. He's having a go. And Andoni Iraola and the Sunderland bench are now engaged in conversation down in front of us as well. The fourth official, who is Matthew Donoghue, is trying to sort things out. And we have a Sunderland free kick in the first of 8 minutes of added time. Wow. That is a lot of added time, Scott, isn't it? Were you expecting that?
Plenty of time for another goal, if not 2 goals. No, I was not.
Here is the free kick, just 6 yards in from the left touchline, inside the Bournemouth half by Trey Hume, who kicks it high into the air. It's a loopy one, which is headed away by Scott. Then Enzo Lefebvre back into the 18-yard box. They're true to chasing it, but it's going to run through to Petrovic, and Bournemouth are going to be able to clear. 1-1 in the 92nd minute. You're listening to Talk Sport. We're live at the home of Bournemouth, the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth have drawn more games than most over the course of the season. They might be drawing another one here, but they are going to continue their unbeaten record, which is standing at the moment at 7, about to tick on to 8 games. But here is Ryan trying to do something about that. He's moving the ball forward into Christie, who floats it to the far post. Amin Adli heads it down into Tor, who tries to get it beyond Ballard. It hits his arm, but his arm was by his side. There's no suggestion of a penalty. Adli back to Senesi, infield towards Scott across to Jimenez, and Ryan is to his right, but he doesn't want to lose the possession here. He gives it to Christie instead, and Christie just about works it forward, takes a deflection, goes out for a corner on this near side in stoppage time.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're really knocking at the door, Bournemouth, aren't they? They believe they can go on and get the winner. There's no doubt it hit Dan Ballard's arm, but his arm wasn't in an unnatural position, and the proximity of it was very, very close. So correct decision just to play on.
1-1 means Sunderland go above Newcastle United, and Bournemouth go to within a point of Brentford. But a late goal here changes the picture. Here is the corner to be taken by Christie, left-footed into the crowded 6-yard box, away by Ballard. Terrific header by him. There's 2 Bournemouth players down inside the 6-yard box. The referee is going to stop the game. Amin Adli is saying he wants a penalty, and the referee is going over, and he's pointing fingers, and he's having a word with Senesi, who thinks he's had an elbow from Robin Roofs.
Well, he has, but I don't think... looking at a different angle there. No, he's trying to get his arm up, but he's got it up almost elbow first. I mean, I think that's a bit of battling, and I personally wouldn't give anything for that, but there's no doubt about it, his elbow was up.
His elbow was up, but he was edging out rather than whacking him in the face, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's caught him.
He was trying to jostle for position, wasn't he? Senesi's gone off the pitch. The referee, I don't think he's going to give anything other than an uncontested drop ball over on the far side. Is he going to give it back to Bournemouth? That's a big question now. Bournemouth think they should have it. Traore's told to go away by the referee, Jared Gillett, and it is going to be an uncontested drop ball in the left wing position for Bournemouth, and Adrian Truffert is going to be able to get hold of this and send it into a congested box. Now, it'd be interesting to see if he lets it bounce or he just hits it straight in. He brought it under control, send it back to Alex Scott, back into the centre of the Sunderland half, and then Christie's got it. Jimenez looks up, plays it back to Christie. Christie can't get away from Lefebvre. Those two becoming quite well acquainted as the ball goes down the right to Ryan, who skips past Hume, gets to the byline, produced a cross, he's looking for Unal, who's wrestling with Ballard. He goes down so cheaply, there's no chance of a foul there, and Mayenda looks to escape at the other end. We're into the 5th of 8 minutes of added time as Mayenda looks to get away from Alex Scott. That's going to be a yellow card.
But you just said it yourself, we're in the 5th minute of 8 of injury time. Ryan somehow found a way to get to the byline and whipped in a great ball to the far post. In fact, he's floated in a ball to the far post. There's no one at the far post. This is it. This is the moment. This is where you can get the winner. There's only one player in the vicinity, and he can't cover all bases.
Off comes Mayenda, and on comes Wilson Isador, whose last goal for the club was against Chelsea in October. Coincidentally, that was the last time they won an away game in the Premier League. And he's coming on now to replace Mayenda, who got the opener here very early in the game. We're still tensely waiting for the final whistle. Is there going to be a late twist in this match? 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to play, plus a little bit more, because there's been a lot more stoppages probably in the 8 minutes that we've had added on than there was in the 45 minutes that preceded it. We've hardly kicked the ball in stoppage time. Hume from just inside his own half plays it to Roofs, who plays it back to him again, and on the halfway line he launched it forward towards the edge of the box. Across comes Unal. His header away will be met by Truffaut in the left fullback position. Traore is going to be penalised for a foul here on Adley, even though Adley put the ball out of play. I mean, he was probably better off not touching him there, Bertrand Traore.
Yeah, now it's just a question really. Sunderland just want to see this game out.
Bit of game management.
Yeah, it's, Bournemouth obviously, they're playing at home. It's 1-1, desperate to try and win the game. This would be a very good point for Sunderland in the end, after what was a very good first half performance.
Yeah. Here is Alderete. Enisu now just squeezes away from Siddiqui and plays it forward, then catches Alderete on the back. He's gone down now, claiming he's injured. Diarra out to the wide right, and Traore. Poor ball by Traore in field to Diarra. Almost like a lazy little touch around the corner which didn't reach its intended target. Tied up by Senesi, and Petrovic will release it upfield. He held on to it for a little while there, Petrovic, and the Bournemouth fans wanted him to get it forward a lot quicker. 97 on the clock now as we enter the last few seconds of stoppage time. 1-1 the score. Jimenez comes infield, plays it towards Enisu now. Alderete is there, gets in front of his marker. Again, not the best ball by Isidore, given away, and then floated forward by Gertruda, and chasing it is Angulo, and Jimenez has got him to deal with now. He runs backwards, tries to stop the ball from going out for a corner, manages to clear it. Christie holds on to it well. Enzo Lefebvre comes up behind him, and Christie plays it infield to Alex Scott. And on the edge of the penalty area, they work the ball well, Bournemouth, to get it up towards the halfway line. Enisu now chests the ball down, a little bit loose with that, then wins it back. There's a wrestling match between him and Alderete. They want a free kick, but Christie's got the ball, so it's allowed to play on. Christie's dragged to the floor by Enzo Lefebvre, and it's going to be a free kick in the final few seconds. Then there's a bit of a pushing match going on. Isidore and Diarra involved in that. Diarra is pushed over by Alex Scott, and it's going to be a free kick to shore the halfway line.
Well, this is really what Sunderland want to do. They want to make it as stop-start as possible. And what we've got, we've had the 98 minutes now, haven't we?
This is one last throw of the dice, isn't it? It's a big set piece. Scott's got to deliver this perfectly. It's a high line from Sunderland. They're stationed about 10 yards outside their penalty area here. Someone in black and red has got to try and breach that line, connect with it and get in on goal. That's what they want. As Scott drifts it over the top, Ballard gets first contact and heads it into the air. Torque goes towards it, drops on the edge of the area. Senesi tries to strike. It comes back towards Christie, can't get hold of it, and then they bring it clear with Angulo on this near side. He travels up to halfway, but Ryan turns it over, and now Bournemouth come back on the attack. Here's Alex Tor, the Hungarian, running down the right channel into the box, clips the ball high towards the far post. Amin Adli doesn't get there. Ryan does, and it's flicked by Enisu now over the top of the crossbar with a scorpion kick. It was coming behind him. Ryan didn't really connect with the effort as well as he might have done as it dropped out of the sky. It was going towards the far corner, but Enisu now turned it over the top.
Yeah, and Ryan he's on his left foot as well, and he's come inside. He's 20 yards out. He's right in front of goal, and they just kind of scuffed it, and that was going wide. So Enisu now had to try and do something, as you say. Dominic Solanke, who scored a similar goal like that.
Oh yeah, that was a great
which
goal,
is amazing. Trying to do something similar, but couldn't do it in the end.
Header by Christie. That was against Manchester City, wasn't it? Away by Ballard. Well, 99 minutes and 30 seconds have been played. I knew there was going to be extra. It goes all the way back to Robin Roos. Oh dear, oh dear. That was a poor kick by the goalkeeper. It drops. Alderete bounces Ryan off the ball. It breaks to halfway. Enzo Lefebvre to Hume, who's going down the outside. Christie is coming with him. It's a poor ball. Jimenez gets there. It's played against Trey Hume. Rescued by Christie. Torque picks it up. Goes out to the near side. Angelo with a foul. The referee eventually spots that free kick. And I said to you the last time they had a free kick, one last chance. Shall we do it again? 100 minutes up.
I was going to say beforehand, I bet Dan Ballard gets his head in it, and he did. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again.
Been terrific, hasn't he?
Superb.
So here's the free kick then to be taken by Alex Scott, last throw of the dice this time, surely, driven into the penalty area. It's headed by Hill, it drops inside the box. Adley tries to keep it alive. He manages to do that. It goes right the way through the penalty area though. Ryan back into the centre, aimed towards the penalty spot, away by Alderete. Headed further clear by Angulo, then picked up by Scott, who travels to the edge of the area. He's sent round the corner, looking for Enisu now, still can't get hold of it. Back it comes to Jimenez, out wide to Ryan. Still we play on here at the Vitality. Ryan with a shot from distance. Oh, it comes off Alderete and goes wide of the post. It could have gone anywhere. It went narrowly wide. It was going wild to the far post. Alderete stuck out a left leg and almost put it in his own net.
One of those ones where you have to try and stick your leg out and then you're thinking, please don't go in.
What an opportunity right at the very end. Here's the corner. 101 minutes have been played. It's into the penalty box and the goalkeeper has been crunched. The referee's blown the whistle and we're going to have a reset over on the far side. We're going to have another retaken corner kick. It's now Tuesday and we're still playing on Talk Sport. Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1.
Are we in March yet?
Still, we're not far away. Did it go to penalties? Have we finished? No. They're pushing and shoving again inside the penalty area. Do you know what the problem here is? It's because they know they can't give away a penalty in these circumstances before the ball is kicked. They do a load of pushing and shoving beforehand to disrupt the taking of the corner kick. Here is the corner eventually taken by Ryan. In towards the near post. It's punched away by Robin Roos. There's another Bournemouth player down. Christie tries to turn it back towards goal. Enisu now sticks out a foot. He comes off Alderete. The referee is blowing the whistle. What's he doing here? He's asking for a stoppage. Is he going to stop the game? He is eventually going to stop the game. It is over and honours are even on the South Coast. It was a really, really good football match. Bournemouth extend their unbeaten run to 8 Premier League games and they've now drawn 12 matches this season, which is more than any other team. For Sunderland, it's a point that ends their 3-game losing streak, and with Xhaka coming back into the team and the intensity back in the team in the first half, they'll feel as if they're back on the right road. Super performance from both, actually heavily committed, and the points are shared. It's finished down at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1.
Sam and Scott, thank you very much. Nervy final moments. That game seemed to go on and on and on. Absolutely fantastic game of football. I think I enjoyed that more than I thought I would going into this game when we arrived on the South Coast. Everyone out on the pitch still, and no one seems to be moving. Many of the players from opposing sides are talking. Some are giving hugs, just about. What a game of football. Interestingly, for Bournemouth, they're now 8 games unbeaten. It's been a interesting symmetry for them, because after they lost to Liverpool on the opening day, they went 8 unbeaten, then they went 11 winless, and now they're again on that trajectory of 8 unbeaten games. So everything is rosy, if not perfect, here on the South Coast, because I'm sure they would have wanted those 3 points. But for Sunderland, it's even more important because they have arrested the slide. They hadn't won in their last 5. They'd gone 8 winless on the road, and today they picked up a really important point. And I think what will be even more exciting for them is that if you look at the table, Sunderland, even if it's just for now until Newcastle play, they are a point and a place above Newcastle in the table as well. So Scott Minto, I think for Sunderland this has been a really good day out.
Yeah, first of all, Resh, I think, do you remember sort of back in the day when you say, no, we're not going home until there's a winner? I think Jared Gillett was thinking that. He's played so many minutes. I didn't really want it to end. It was a really exciting game of football, as you rightly say. And from Sunderland's point of view, I thought they were superb in the first half, with and without the ball. And then actually it was a proper professional away performance where Bournemouth were kind of breaking them down. The organisation of Sunderland wasn't quite as smooth as it was, and the intensity as it was in the first half. And then you have characters in the likes of Alderete, Hume, Gertruda, obviously Granit Xhaka when he was on the pitch, but Dan Ballard in particular.
He's walking off with his top off, by the way. He's huge. Well, just, you don't want to miss.
No, absolutely, and he's just trying to mimic the Sunderland fans that are in the sun right now. So Look, I thought... I think that Bournemouth came on strong in the second half for sure, and if there was one team that was probably going to go and get the winner, it was the home side. But I think Sunderland deserved the point there. I thought they were really, really good. As you rightly say, halted the slide. It's a long journey home for the Sunderland fans, but they'll be really happy with their performance as well as the point.
The defensive line, so strong throughout that, withstood attack after attack from that Bournemouth side, because it did look like Bournemouth were the team that were going to score in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, for Bournemouth, they couldn't really get going in the first half, and Sunderland were playing how they wanted to. And I think, you know, Granit Xhaka being back, I think, played a big part in it. I think it lifts everyone else. I thought the intensity, the way they were hunting down Bournemouth, and the way that Bournemouth normally do it against other teams, especially here at the Vitality. That first half was superb, but it's very difficult to keep that up for 90 minutes, Resh. And I thought Bournemouth came on strong in the second half. Substitutions were made. Maybe Iriola could have waited a little bit to see how Evan Nilsson was. But, you know, Alex taught, as Sam rightly said, people were in the right position. Square pegs, square holes. Even if it's maybe not the personnel exactly who you'd want at the very end. And they very nearly nicked it, but for some brilliant defending from Sunderland.
Interestingly, I mean, we talked about Bournemouth being a side that can reinvent themselves, even with, you know, key players going. They're now unbeaten since Antoine Semenyo left, which is actually extraordinary when you think of the impact that he had on the team when he was here.
There was a worry, as everyone knew that he was about to leave and the January window was going to open, that they wanted to try and just grab as many points as possible with him still at the club. And obviously his last touch of the game was the winner against Spurs.
Just thought I'd bring that one up,
Resh.
Yeah, I remember it well.
And then suddenly once he's gone, like, what's going to happen? And look, Ryan has been a really good signing, but it's not just about him. I think what they've done is actually they've made themselves a little bit more difficult to beat. They're not conceding as many goals. They're looking very well organised. So, yes, Ryan's been brilliant. There's no doubt about it. And he looks like he's got just a fantastic future ahead of him. But I think everyone's been very, very good indeed. And yeah, there's a lot of positivities there for sure.
Yeah, for both sides. Can I just say, Bournemouth played with 62% possession. So Sunderland, 38%. They played so well off the ball, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had to. You know, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I thought in the first half, despite them only having sort of 39-40%, they looked more dangerous. They created the better chances. So it was a typical away performance. Look, we don't mind you having the ball, but at the same time, we're going to make sure that we try and attack with purpose, and they did that. Second half was a little bit different. And the fact that they were able to go home with a point, I think they deserved that for sure. It was a really good away performance from them.
Yeah, and not characteristic of what we've seen of them. And to do a lot of that second half, well, actually, considering the second half went on and on, without Granit Xhaka as well, that they managed to control the game as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't have wanted to take him off, but they've got to look after him. He's only just come back as his first start for a good few games. 75 minutes was probably longer than he ideally would have liked, Regis Lebris, but he had to keep him on. In the end, it was like, right, we have to trust in the others, and you know, he trusted right.
He did. Let's pick our man of the match now with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Don't know if you had any time to think about that, considering how long the game went on, but who are you going to go for?
I've had a bit of time, actually, just trying to multitask. And look, I thought Bournemouth came on strong in the second half. There's no standout players from them, to be honest with you. I thought the fullbacks of Sunderland were brilliant, and Granit Xhaka coming back just helps control things. But I thought Dan Ballard was superb.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
it had to be.
Towards the end, I'm thinking it's got to be him. And he's just a magnet. He's one of those defenders where the ball comes to him and he headed it away.
First to everything.
He was superb and just showed great character.
Yeah, and he should have had his shot on target, shouldn't he? Because him and Gertrude in the offside position.
Right, let's take it off him.
That would have helped the bet, wouldn't it? He did his bit. We lost the charity bet.
We did lose the charity bet. However, I completely agree with you. I think he's one of those forces to be reckoned with, isn't he, Dan Ballard? In terms of not just his movement, his football intelligence as well.
He just reads the game so well, and just an incident where he was running with the ball 30 yards and he was being fouled 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah, that was quite incredible. He's like a marauding bull, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't go down. And that's just his sort of honesty, integrity, and a proper old school defender who's come up into the Premier League and is showing he is a Premier League player.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, Scott. That was our Here For It hero, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.